Plucky's just getting everything set up for us. Are we bopping along to our hype music?
I mean, I don't know why I'm muting my microphone. It was like, I think it's because when I'm doing like technical stuff, I tend to like complain. And it was like, is there a reason I can join and talk to you guys as well? Hey everybody, I'm setting up the background scening. I think I can't multitask. I think that was my main concern. It's like, well, I'm taking on way too many tasks here. But oh, Plucky. I'm a little bit tired, folks, but hopefully that won't affect my performance. I've got to find my hat as well. Gosh. Oh, I got the episode right. Good work. Oh.
Can't play without your hat.
I know.
There was this really old beer ad that I used to really, really like before I even knew what beer was. And it was this scene of all of these, you know, tough, real Aussie blokes and a bunch of English fellas fighting in, I'm assuming, World War II. And they're sort of dodging through artillery as the things are exploding around them, and they sort of just dive into the trenches and they sort of look around at each other, and he goes, "Oh no!" And English folks look over at the Aussie blokes and go, "What's wrong?" And he goes, "He's got to go back and get his hat." And so they sort of crack a beer open and drink whatever this refreshing beer is, and he runs back out into the war zone to get his hat back. And only now do I realize, I'm like, they're in the war zone. How do they have like nice, cool, refreshing beers with them?
that was the thing you had the most problem with. Love it.
There's a reason why America has the most expensive military on the planet.
They pay a lot. Like I was watching.
Our cold brew technology is a hefty investment, but a worthwhile one.
Zix, do you want to move your camera? Or maybe I can actually. Oh yeah, you're leaning back now. Fantastic.
In Zix's land, the camera moves you.
You might want to get somebody that's better at doing this camera adjustment. That's what you. What's going on? Right, I think that's okay. Okay. That. This is why I'm muting my mic, folks. Just a random murmur. Do 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 do.
No, it's just that I finally remembered that I have headphones somewhere, so now I can actually hear the music during the stream.
Yay! Boom. We're doing it, folks. There's any...
I did some engineering, and I've got my screen set up now further back from me, so I don't have to sort of wedge in and out of my desk to be able to get up and down if I need to.
I like how like we're slowly evolving the setup. I think we're getting a lot more smoother than our like first few episodes, which is good.
Yeah. I agree.
Back when I didn't really have a camera.
Yeah.
Thank you, unnamed technology center, who has given me my camera.
Okay, cool. So I've just got to add in myself, and then we should be good. Oh, that reminds me, better turn on my webcam and like set it up, folks.
Remember to record.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. Good. Because last time I forgot. Oh gosh! Don't break your monitor, Plucky. That would be bad. But the soundtrack alongside that breaking would be pretty awesome. So I keep on touching my camera with my thumb, so I keep on getting thumbprints on it. I'm a little bit disheartened by that. Got to be like less clumsy, I think, folks.
I found the solution to that is to not thumb.
Not have a thumb.
That's preventative. We need corrective.
Cut off his thumbs.
Wow!
They're
wow.
opposable.
I say no half measures, whole hand, and get one of those hook graspers. That way you will have 0 fingers with which to leave prints.
No half measures. You're clearly not doing your job. You need to get your entire arm up to the shoulder.
Wow.
Why don't we just get rid of Plucky entirely and just replace?
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm sure, like, Pluckybot AI will, like, do a better job than me, right? Hello, I am Captain Ash. Here's a random poem I found from the internet. Enjoy.
Also, once you have a hook hand, you can kill Dr. Richard Kimball's wife and frame him for the murder.
I mean, I'm one step. I've already framed. No, I mean, what? Framed anybody or anything. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it, folks. Grab my hat.
Cool story. Still murder.
Oh, beautiful. So, Elk told me about studio mode, and now I can like set up the screen so we can have a seamless transition. Oh, we've got people in chat as well.
You hit
Already?
OBS, and once OBS is open,
Go to studio mode, folks.
my video might go a little funny when I've got it open. Sorry. There's a little button underneath Start Recording called Studio Mode.
The music stopped, and everybody stopped talking. Somebody like reveal a tragic secret or something. Come on, folks. That's the trait for it.
No, it's just because we logged into. Well, I logged into Twitch and was like, "Oh, viewers, viewers." I pull it up. Oh, it's us.
Don't tell them that.
I mean, it's those random people whom of which we have not known. Everyone have a good Friday?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I pretty much had to, like, sleep most of the day so I could be awake most of the night to play this game, but other than that, yeah. It's good. Like a few hours ago, I'm ready, raring to go, folks, kinda. Like that, yeah.
Hello, viewers.
Hello! And with a press of the button, if everything goes well, I should be able to... Oh, no. Where have I lost my screen? Oh, because it's... yeah. Remind me when I'm, like, streaming the webcam. Where is it? I've hidden my webcam. It has to be on the screen. Otherwise it doesn't display for some reason. It's only the
Why don't you just get your video feed directly into OBS rather than...
I am. Yeah, I am, but it still requires the camera to be... like, this camera software to be capturing, apparently.
No way.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, Penny Cash.
oh my, we have other people?
No, that's just a camera. Reconnect. Come on. No.
Hello!
Why is the... Folks, it looks so good, and then I messed it up somehow. Sorry, folks.
So, Elk, I went on a bit of an XP spending spree.
Oh, really? Are they all combat charms?
No.
Good.
Unfortunately not. Only one was a combat charm.
No, it turns out, folks, that I'm just an idiot. So that was easily solved there. My stream rig was set up to the wrong key, so I was pressing it to a different overlay. Yeah, but 10 minutes. That's like our shortest transition ever, folks. We did it. We did it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
Hey,
like
Penny Cash.
20 minutes ahead of time.
No, I ended up, I got one martial art charm. I got a little short to get another solar charm. But I did buy 2 dots of athletics.
2 dots of athletics. Oh, should probably spend my experience. Do I get the...
Chia has reach and flexibility.
Oh gosh,
Of
scary
course.
thought. Scary thought, folks. For the enemies of us.
Dancing so much, his calves are huge.
You have
Best
cows?
BioWare quote ever, like bar none. Like that quote alone won me over completely. We'll play that game forever and ever.
Big shout out to
What?
Penny Cash. Also, folks, I'm going to do a one shot of Changeling. So if people fancy getting involved with it, sort of to like prepare for hype for Exalted Twitch doing the streaming, Changeling the Dream. I don't know. They're doing a new like campaign on Changeling. I don't know what it's called because I forgot. But I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be exciting, and I'm going to do a one shot so we can like familiarise ourselves and get into the mood for it. So feel free to join me. I'm not sure if we'll be streaming it. Maybe not, but who knows. But feel free to like sort of throw your hat in the ring to be involved with that. Yeah. Oh gosh, I'm dropping a lot of frames here, folks. What am I on? I think that might be because I'm also... Let's do that. Yeah, that should be better.
To answer your question, Zix, in Mass Effect 2, there's an alien that you can do the relationship thing with if you are a femshep, which is the only real shep. I'm just going to put that out there. And he's talking about I suppose you'd call it an affair or something that he'd had, like a past relationship. And before they got down into the sheets, so to speak, they were having a wrestling tussle because they were very sort of militant sort of species. And he just describes it to saying like he had the fight was interesting because he had reach, but she had flexibility. And then when he starts talking about them being in the bedroom, he goes, "I had reach, but she had flexibility." So now that you've bought, now that I'm explaining it, it's not so.
Now that you've learned the tone of the stream. Second breath after dark. I mean, I think we need to lighten the tone. I'm gonna grab.
Is that Thane that you're talking about?
No, Garrus.
If you folks wouldn't mind, excuse me, I'm gonna grab a drink because I'm gonna probably need them.
My wife calls him her adorable space chicken.
Garrus,
So I'm looking,
I played Broshep, and Garrus was like my BFF. He was my like hetero soulmate.
I like in one of the expansions if you're in one of the expansions if you're Broshep, you can take him to a bar, and he tries hitting on someone, and they're like, "Oh, hey, you come here often?" He goes, "No, if I did, that would make me an alcoholic."
Oh god, he's so awesome. He's like weird, socially awkward, dirty Harry, and who's also a weird lizard chicken monster.
Thank you, Penny.
Basically everything I want out of a best friend.
I think our faces are frozen on the stream.
Yeah, they are looking like that.
Yeah,
I mean, I think it's because I like tapped out. Yeah, I'm just like gonna try and capture them at like hilarious points for my own entertainment and yours, folks. No,
I'm also gonna grab a drink real quick.
Yeah. I'm really apprehensive and excited about this episode because we kind of left in a very... Is vicarious the right word?
No?
Precarious.
Precarious. What's vicarious mean?
Living vicariously through another individual. So
yeah, no, that's...
in
well,
that
kinda,
sense,
I guess.
You're substituting someone else for yourself.
Well, I'm kind of is. Isn't that what roleplay's all about?
No?
Not necessarily.
No, of course not.
If I were substituting my own consciousness into the consciousness of Cheshire, then maybe.
Yeah. Anyway, you'll get used to it, folks, when I use the wrong word. I do a habit of like using words and I think they're right, and then like later people are like, it's not the word you're looking for. What do you reckon, Zix? Should I go for the solar counter charm? Do you think we need it for this fight? Do you think it would be appropriate for me to have that? It's difficult.
The solar counter charm. You do you, boo boo.
Is that count? Oh my. I don't know whether I'd be happy with it. Wow, boo boo. Jeez. Never heard that before. Like, is that... Wait a minute, isn't Boo Boo like a Flintstone character?
You never stolen a picnic basket?
Hey, boo boo. It's another picnic basket.
Yogi Bear!
Come on, Yogi.
This is when everyone discovers that Elkovash has exactly 3 voices, and none of them have a good accent.
Oh, wait, if you're gonna rip off my GMing voiceover style, then you know, sure. But, I've been very appreciative of your voice acting on your characters. I think they've been very good.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Before we start, Etzer, do you think I need the solar counterattack if Elk allows it? I was planning on getting it anyway, so it's just like whether I get it now.
It
You
could
mind if you cut up?
probably
You won't be able
save
to
you.
sort of retroactive.
Sorry?
Bam.
Yeah, it's like
I don't mind if you pick it up, but you won't be able to retroactively use it.
no,
For the last action of last session.
no. That wasn't my intention at all. No, that'd be silly. But
I was just covering all my bases.
that's good. Yeah, like I also want like infinite amount of retainers. Oh dear. Okay. Bye bye experience.
No, it's a bad plucky. That's a bad plucky.
I am a bad plucky. Wow. Okay. Let's put it in there. We're doing it, folks.
Lucky.
Doing it. Oh. Right.
Are we ready?
Almost.
Let's do this.
You know what? I'm gonna go crazy, cray, folks. I'm also gonna unlock the first evocation on Eldori, if that's okay. I don't know if she's in love with me enough for me to do that.
She's in love with you.
Yeah.
That is how the last session capped off.
Yeah. Right. I think I'm pretty much done. I've spent. I'm such a hoarder, so like spending experience like hurts me. It's like, well, what if I need it later on? Stop it. That's why I play bard
Miserly.
characters. Yeah, kinda. But,
All right, so let's kick it off with tea leaving,
yeah.
if you're up for it.
Just filling this in. I'll be a sec. Oh yeah, it'll be fine. It's free mates.
That's alright. We're still technically 10 minutes ahead of schedule.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, cool. This is reflexive. See what I mean? I'm not good at multitasking. It's like whenever I'm typing to chat on stream, I will read out what I'm typing because my brain hasn't got that many channels to like split out the bandwidth. It's terrible, folks. Oh dear, reflexive. Yeah, I'm good.
Only one YouTube video at a time.
Yeah. So, I think, should we take player predictions of what we think is going to go down, or do we not want to jinx it?
Etzer's gonna die.
Well, he's punching me. So the odds of him beating me to death are slim-ish. Worst case scenario, I gas the whole courtyard. All of us black out. Cheshire has to throw us on a cart and bug out.
Okay, cool. I like that optimism.
I can't do feats of strength yet.
You're not trying to kick down a door, you're just picking up a person. You're not strength 1, right?
I might dedicate this stream to Karlok, one of my players, who has never successfully managed to cast this spell and not take out the entire party.
That's double jinxing us.
Okay, that does not sound good. I don't know which spell we're talking about, but gosh. Dare I ask which spell?
It's called Mists of Eventide.
Oh.
It's the poisonous gas.
Yeah.
And if it crashes you, because it does initiative damage over time, unconscious, 24 hours minimum. If it happens to be the person's control, is it your control spell?
Yeah.
Are you aware that you have to sleep in the mists every night?
I want to sleep comfortably.
You're gonna be
Yes,
tossing
I'm
and
aware.
turning.
If anyone does
in.
have any questions, if anyone watching live in the chat does have any questions about Exalted, feel free to ask about. We try to explain everything as we come across it, but as we've been doing multiple streams, we've gotten a bit lax on that. So we'll try and keep that up for people who are watching, who maybe watching for the first time. Like, how is the setup? Are we good? Are we Roman Emperor?
What's happening? Sorry?
Are we set up yet?
Oh yeah, I think the stream's looking good. Your mic had a little bit of stuttering there. I don't know if that was. Are you talking about me? Am I set up?
Are we ready to play?
Yeah.
This is my question.
Yeah, we're ready to play.
Your mic bugged out while you were talking, so that's why he was like, what's going on?
Yeah. I'm really confused by why our frame rate is always like last week it's really good, really low, and this week it's a little bit higher. So I'm not sure whether that's just my internet service provider folks or something else that I'm not aware of. So I apologise for that.
People around you. Usage. Whether everyone's getting up to make their cup of tea.
Don't make your tea, folks. Just think of the plucky heroes out there. Right, yeah, I guess let's get into this. I'm ready when you are, folks.
Let's cut the music and we'll go into our tea street tea leaving, please.
Tashimi Umaza here with another tea leaving special. Wow. We're isolated on the flirtatious move, set of sea, separated from our captain, and things are looking dark indeed, folks. The journey was overcast by tea leaves that signify danger and trouble on the horizon, and sure enough, Etzer managed to find it. Always Etzer, right? We're always finding him in strange places. Anybody think that's odd? I'm not sure I trust that one. They met bandits on the road, who later turned out to be the only true patriots of Chiru. So naturally, Etzer and them got on like a house on fire. So that was good. Things were looking pretty tense there. We were on a bridge, and any moment it could have come crashing down. We also seemed to uncover a mystery that is quite startling, folks. Turns out that somebody is trying to plant objects around the Dreaming Sea to, like, bring back the Fae? Maybe? I mean, if the captain's to be believed. And it depends on how much he's had to drink that we believe him. But a mysterious fawn-like artifact was discovered from fawns. Everybody saw Ash was crazy because he was smelling cinnamon everywhere. And also seeing ghostly embers, which wasn't great. After a quick conversation with the mysterious, creepy, and unsettling Amber Glow, the intrepid trio seemed to head on to Chirai. I mean, tea leaves unclear, folks. However you want to pronounce it. Who's been sorcerously fortified so the earth would, like, threaten any travellers trying to invade it, but they use subterfuge. Going in as a merchant caravan, will Captain finally deliver his cargo? Or will trouble besiege them? It wasn't long before Etzer's big mouth got them into trouble, and we left our heroes with Etzer on the floor, scrambling for his life, Captain diving in with a dory to stop a lethal attempt on the grounded Etzer, and Cheshire trying to sow seeds of doubt in the military's minds to intervene in a duel that has gone terribly wrong, folks. I think that was pretty much everything from the tea leaving. I've got to sort of ration these tea leaving because Seren's cracking down. She really is turning the captain's help yourself policy into a rationing bonanza. I'll catch you later, folks. Bye. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much everything from what I remember. I feel like
Dima, it's Chia.
Chia. Well, I mean, like he's
like the seeds.
Like, yeah. I mean, I'm not good at pronunciations. What I'm going to say, folks. I mean,
that proves it.
I feel like every time I do the recapping to a bit, I'm like, it's like a test I have to take, and I always feel like, gosh, like I'm the only one taking it in front of the class. So hopefully I do a good job. Yeah, that's pretty much the basics.
One of the reasons I like doing recaps from the players is because highlights for me what the players thought was important about the previous session, and so I can concentrate on the things that catch their attention. On that note,
yeah, what initiative?
Nose goes.
This is don't do this to me. It replays from where it last was rather than at the beginning, which is a little frustrating. When we last left off, Kasshim Kassam was thrashing Etzer to the ground, throwing him about, winding through him. And just when all seemed lost, in leapt Captain Ash to the fray, The door is singing out as he flashes in between them, glowing golden like the sun. The papers of stories scattering about him. It's anima large, vivid, broadcasting for miles around that here a chosen of the sun stands. Here they will make their mark. So the last session ended at the end of a combat round, with Captain Ash leaping into the fray. And so this session begins at the beginning of a combat. Currently, Kasshim Kassam has the highest initiative, so he will be acting first.
You drain essence, right? Though.
Yes, everyone gains 5 essence from spent.
And it goes to your peripheral first, folks. Not your personal, if I'm correct.
Correct.
Outwards in.
Yep.
Kasshim does not seem to take the declaration of solar heroism very well. As he stumbles backwards, gazing upon this golden hero interposed between him, sort of mutters something to himself in his native tongue, swearing and cursing about the anathema that now stands in his... He pulls down his robe, exposing his chest, places his fingers deep into his skin. A almost boil-like scar begins to sort of trace its way up his neck, sort of coming down towards, in between where his fingers are pressing into his chest. And it's this amulet sort of slowly bringing itself up out of his body. A single perfect ruby, glowing red, set into its centerpiece. As it sort of bursts out in a small shower of blood. Anyone sensitive to sorcery can feel it overflowing with power. It has been collecting power within it and holding it there until the right moment. And now that it has burst free, he releases its sorcerous power.
This is not good, folks.
Really
This is bad.
Amulet's coming out of your chest, bad.
I mean, this. I was like, is this an abyssal? Are we? Are we done? Etzer, Kasshim.
I have a feeling we're about to catch on fire.
As the crystal shines with its sorcerous light, to mention, he quickly drains of its power, loses its shadow, claps his hands together, bringing them out wide, and this wind kicks up through the air, swirling about him and whirl about like a zephyr. Kasshim is using his expends a mote to make a shape sorcery action to complete the spell, because he is short on motes, but he's not short by much. Give me one moment while I roll for you.
Botch. I like Captain Ash. What can I say, folks? What can I say?
Okay. With the help of the amulet, he's able to gather the source almost an instant, bringing it down low, pushing his hands low to the ground as the air starts to sort of coil around his legs and hips. A small hurricane starting to form about him, at least twice his arm's length out. and it lifts him up from the ground, the Stormwind Rider taking shape around him. That is Kasshim's action. Next up is Cheshire.
Okay, so I've successfully maneuvered my way into the minds of his men. Did his men run away?
They haven't run. You haven't persuaded them to do anything. You have filled them with things, though. They were instilled with both a infatuation for you and a commitment to helping the underdog.
Got it. All right, so for Cheshire's action, as the fight had started, you remember that Cheshire had summoned a ring of fire to serve as an arena, and 2 onlookers as representatives of the fighters. A large, muscly, rough-looking tyrant lizard, which is basically a T-Rex. And on the other side of the ring was a river dragon. Imagine giant alligator leviathan. Well, from the edge of the flame, the tyrant lizard is going to reach forward with its giant clawed foot, and it's going to turn, and it's going to whack Kasshim Kassam with its tail. So this is a withering attack action with it's basically, I'm using the illusion as my attack, using the martial art that I know, Silverwing Nightingale. So Cheshire starts dancing on top of the cart, and that causes the tyrant lizard to move and swipe at Kasshim. I'm going to add to that social influence to the guards. You must help him. He needs help. And that's going to be a persuasion.
Him who?
The underdog.
The underdog. Understood.
The one that is getting his butt whooped right now.
Understood.
Oh, dude. I mean...
Do it for me.
For those of you both familiar with Exalted and those, there is a martial arts style in the book called Silver Voiced Nightingale, that is like martial arts through music and voice. For the sakes of Cheshire's particular character, we've decided to redub it Silver Winged Nightingale, because Cheshire's less about singing and voice and more about sort of dance and action. So I've allowed that mechanically it works pretty much exactly the same, but it's fluffed through dance rather than through voice and action. But this does allow him to both make attacks and do social interaction at the same time, free of any sort of flurry penalties, as I understand it.
Correct. Alright, just got my tools together.
While Cheshire's getting that ready.
Let's see.
While Cheshire's getting that ready, Ash, you would be up.
Cool. What initiative are I on? I totally remember from last week.
5.
5. That's not brilliant. In which case, Ash will quickly run towards the Wind Rider and grab a bag of spices from a cart that's sort of left ready to be loaded into the main market area, and they throw the colourful spices into the ensnaring winds, and as they whip up, covering his attack, Ash's Adori will slash into the wind multiple places, trying to push Kasshim Kassam off balance to get him to falter in his control of the Wind Rider spell. So I'm doing a withering attack.
Okay. I'll give you a 1 point stun, and sorry, Cheshire as well. You're getting a stun for yours. We'll get Cheshire to roll first.
Okay, so that's a total of 7 successes.
Do we know?
And which social attribute am I using?
Manipulation,
Got it.
presence, performance, whatever. You know what I mean. Did you say 7 on your withering attack?
Yes. And what's their resting resolve? 2, I
The
think.
guard's resting resolve is 2.
Cool. And okay, I could have used that on the attack, but this works. That's 13 successes. Persuasion.
Okay. You have 3 thresholds on your withering, like Kasshim.
Fantastic.
Ash, if you want to roll.
Yep. Going all out on this, folks. Got to. Ooh, yeah. I'm just reading what Adori does. If it pre-roll or post-roll.
Just to go over the dice for dealing damage, it's strength plus your weapon modifier, and then minus their soak.
Correct.
Strength,
he's so
weapon
good-
modifier, and additional successes on a withering attack.
So you had 3 threshold successes. So it'll be your strength plus your weapon plus 3.
Okay, so that's 15.
Minus his soak of 5.
Cool.
You also add your weapon's accuracy, don't you, to withering attacks?
To withering attack, yes.
Yeah. The roll. Oh, we don't want to roll d20s. Here we go, folks. Wish me luck. Oh, okay. That's not great. 11 successes, I make out.
Not great, just 11. And I got 4 successes on damage.
Okay, 1 moment. 11. It doesn't. 13. How many did you say? Sorry, Plucky. 11.
11 if 10s count for double for the attack roll, which I believe they do.
They do. They do.
Is there an onslaught penalty as well?
Yes, there is. So his defense against this attack is only. So that's 8 threshold successes.
Does she have a defining tie with me, Adori?
Yeah. Wait, hang on. Yes.
The defining
Yes.
level grants 1 automatic success to all withering damage rolls. So that's +1 success already. And then I add my damage plus the threshold successes, which were... Sorry, it didn't come through clear.
You have 8 thresholds.
8 threshold successes plus the automatic 1 plus 12 damage is 20 dice rolling. But 10s don't count, folks, because... Oh, I do. I'm withering.
Yes, they do.
Ignore me. Ignore me, folks. Oh,
That's what
wow.
happens when you pick a fight with some solos.
So that is 13 successes.
13.
Yep. 1 automatic success plus 9 successes plus I got 3 10s in there, so that will be 13.
That's dropped him to initiative 5. Ash, that catapults you to 19.
Yay!
Impressive.
So,
Yep.
as the
That's
wind
it.
starts to sort of... Sorry. As the wind starts to whip around Kasshim and he sort of starts to lift himself the claw of the tyrant lizard sort of just comes down and starts slapping at the ground as he shifts back and forward, trying to avoid its attack. As the you can do it, camera. Refocus.
Wait, I may have made a mistake there. Just to like 2 secs. Let me double check that. So I've done everything right. Because I might be adding the damage for decisive attacks plus 12. Does that sound too high? So I'll double check this. Sorry, folks. No, like
Just your strength plus Adder's damage.
oh, okay, I didn't have my
Plus
strength. Okay, but that's fine. That'll be my bad. Yeah, that's fine.
As the spice sort of just kicks up into catching through, circling about him. As Ash flashes forwards and Addery sort of slashing through the space, Kassam just barely manages to sort of flashes through his space. Etzer, the wind has picked up around you.
Ooh. Good. One question though. How negative is my initiative right now?
Currently -4.
All right, I'm gonna do something a little crazy. I'm gonna try and crash him. So that's gonna make me lose 3 sorcerous motes because I'm not continuing to shape sorcery continuously, but I will gain 2 back because of my shaping ritual.
If you're putting shaping ritual motes towards the thing, it doesn't count as not having shape.
Oh, nice.
Do it. Do the thing.
No, right now that will... Here's the thing. If I can crash him, not only will that take me out of initiative crash, it will allow me to do an initiative shift and then get a free attack against him. And then I can start poisoning people and put him to sleep.
You're right. Do the thing.
It'll also automatically activate your spell unless you want to discard it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna make an attack against him. So I'm sort of laying on the ground, and he's buffeted by winds being picked up in the air.
Yeah,
Etzer,
you are prone.
Despite all of his rhetoric about his upright, noble stature, lashes out in a viciously underhanded attack where he takes Noman and swings it as hard as he can, like he's trying to win a prize at a strongman contest at a county fair. But instead of hitting the lever on will knock the thing up, he swings his rackstaff with all of his might, aimed perfectly at the groin of Kasshim Kassam, bashing him right in his family jewels, which thankfully are not exposed like his occult one.
Ha. Ba-dum-bum.
I am going to activate Excellent Strike and a full Excellency, and as I do this, my forehead also begins to glow.
Just your forehead?
Yeah, I have been keeping my essence expenditure very well balanced at this point, but I am no longer have any personal motes. I'm only in peripheral, so it's go time.
Well, how much is your free excellency? Or full
Oh, I
excellency?
don't,
Free.
so I'm spending 7 motes right now. I'm spending 4 on an Excellency and 3 on Excellent Strike.
Oh, okay, cool. So it's the small disc surrounded by the Karunik's ring. Karunik.
Do I get any stunt dice?
1, uno.
Well, this is quite the example of how battle can shift quite suddenly.
I'm also going to spend a point of willpower.
It's also a good example of the players going all out.
Ash is kind
Has
of
children in the background screaming.
Ash is kind of definitely the character that goes all out. Like he doesn't hold back very often when he thinks.
That will give me 7 successes to hit him.
7 successes, giving you 5 thresholds.
And his
His
soak is 5.
penalty. His soak is also 5. Yes.
Because Onslaught is awesome
Yep.
until it's against you, and then it really hurts.
Oh, so close.
Oh no.
So only I had 1 more thing.
What have you rolled?
I do 3 points of initiative damage to him.
3.
Yeah, so I go up 4. Because I hit and I did 3.
You
Hey,
are
that brings you out
still
of crash.
crashed. No, he's still crashed. He's 0.
Above 0.
Darn it.
Yep.
That's round. Everyone gained 5 motes.
Sweet. All right. Let's do this thing.
As everyone seems to have gotten a second wind in this fight, sort of committed to sort of jumping in and interfering with Kasshim's very honourable duel, the ground around you starts to creak and crack, breaking apart as these crystal shards, by one, just come up out of it. Have you seen, those old pin toys where it's like a plate with hundreds of pins put in, you can stick your hand in it, sort of like that. It's these single bright emerald shards just sort of popping up out of the ground as they arrange themselves into rough humanoid shapes as these 2 great elementals sort of erupt out of the ground. These 2 beings are subservient to Kasshim and immediately make their aggression known by sort of moving against the group. They haven't rolled particularly high in their joint battle though. First action is Ash for this round.
Quick question about combat. If I want to strike a decisive blow but don't want to kill them, is there any way to pull the blow, or is it just...
I don't think it's there in the rules. It used to be in 2nd edition,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's actually there in third. Traditionally, it would be some minor penalty minor penalty for accuracy. But I think I might actually go the world of kill somebody. Don't attack them with a sword.
Yeah. I'm going to try and attack him with the pommel of my sword and turn it into bashing if I can stunt it enough.
Give me a good stunt and it would be
will.
okay.
Is he,
But
like,
you have to stunt it hard?
Is Kasshim Kassam, what was I going to say? Is he crashed at the moment?
Unfortunately not.
No, he's not. No, not quite.
No.
Very close though.
Right.
But if you leave him for me to crash, I can still pull off a shift. This is the last round I can pull off initiative shift.
Yeah, I think it's too dangerous to let loose. Like, so Captain Ash sort of lowers his head and then raises it, eyes narrowing on a storefront, a bakery. He runs towards it, cutting the rope, releasing the thing, sailing upwards, swinging across, using all his sail knowledge and used to rigging, moving himself head height with Kasshim, and with a flick of his wrist, he moves the pummel of a dory across his face, moving it, hoping to move his head just a fraction too far, and cause his eyes to roll back and drop to the floor. But we shall see, folks. I don't know if that was good enough to stunt a bashing attempt with the weapon?
I'll give you a 1 point stun and
Yeah.
let you do bashing with your weapon.
Fantastic.
Now, you don't add your weapon's accuracy, but he still hasn't had his action since he cast his sorceress spell. So his onslaught has dropped his defense to 1.
Okay, fantastic. I have 4 dexterity plus 5 melee due to my due to my speciality. I'm going to pump an accuracy into there for 9, so I'm rolling 18 dice. Plus 2 from my stun. Is that correct? That makes 20. If my count is correct. Yeah, let's roll these dice. Okay. 10s count for double for the attack roll? For the something to
For
hit?
the attack roll, yes.
Okay, I got 9 successes.
So you are a Don.
See, folks, not just a poet. I can actually do my role.
It's his defense of 1, and those thresholds don't count for anything for decisive damage, so you now have 19 decisive damage to roll.
Fantastic. Does he have any hard? I guess his hardness is not going to be.
He doesn't have any hardness, no.
No. And you can't spend a point of willpower or anything silly like that, can you?
Not for damage, no.
11 successes on 19 dice. Got 3 10s.
Ow.
Give me 1 moment. Give me 1 moment.
It is bashing though,
Such-
so hopefully it knocks him out rather than kills him.
Such pain, much wow.
And can I activate my supplement on Adori because it's decisive?
What's that? Talk about it.
It allows. It gives. I'll read out. I might have missed my opportunity though, folks. In all the excitement, I'm loving combat. It's like our first proper combat, folks. So forgive me if I'm a little bit slow on things, but. Evocations. Adori, where are you, my beloved? Here we go. Adori cuts to the quick and finds the truth in the blood. The first evocation of Adori allows you to, on any successful divisive damage roll, to act as a successful read intentions that checks the target's intimacies against the Solar's own and reveals a principle or tie that aligns with the Solar's own, or failing that, one that represents the most violent, aggressive, extreme opposite to one of the Solars. The storyteller chooses which instrument is revealed on a successful attack. Does that replace the damage, or just in
No, it
It
addition?
doesn't
added
replace
effect.
damage.
Yeah.
It's so because of the way that the evocation, it says on a successful decisive damage roll.
Yeah.
Now that you've successfully damaged it with that roll, you can now activate that evocation,
Which I will do.
and it would take 11 successes on a read intentions.
Yay!
I'm not overly familiar with all of Ash's rundown, please.
Oh yeah, I'll give you a quick rundown. I need to update this as well, folks. But here's what's on the character sheet. Lives for the next adventure. Loves his ship. As a captain, I have a duty to my crew. I won't throw lives of me and others carelessly away. Those who sail on my ship will respect my captaincy. New dawn is a new day. Wants to leave an impression. A good captain knows his ship. I will chronicle my adventures. I will not draw my sword in anger. I will share my wisdom to those who want to learn. I am fascinated by minor gods and elementals. This one's really small, folks. Let me zoom in. For the Fae that reave the dreaming sea are nightmarish and should be treated as such. I will not turn people into pawns with my words. I do not enjoy being used as a pawn for others. Reflects on the paths not taken. Enjoys the chase of romance. I will not give up my freedom for a lover. I don't like boring food. Thai Cheshire respect. Obviously loves Adori. Kind of concerned about Adori's getting on the wrong side of Adori. Has I guess a minor intimacy of concern to do with Yashir and sharing Etzer's rhetoric as well.
As the pommel of Adori sort of just cracks him hard. I've described him as this overly muscular man, so were he any more slight of frame, you may have cracked his neck. And as it is, the sort of musculature in his neck has dampened the blow sufficiently such that as the pommel sort of cracks against his temple and his head is thrown to one side, it sort of cushions the blow, but you can see his eyes loll back almost immediately. This gash of blood starts sort of just dripping down his temple, as head wounds always do a lot. As he just crashes to the ground, the zephyr around him starting to slowly dissipate. Addery sings back into your ear. This one's no willing pawn either. With Ash's attack, he sets to base. His base initiative would normally be 13 because he is flaring at totemic. He resets to base plus half of his essence rounded up, so 4. Cheshire is your action. Kasshim Kassam is knocked out of this fight. He has a fairly severe head wound, but he is unconscious, not dying.
Okay. Seeing that the captain has revealed his true self and is handling the situation in front of him, what happens to the 2 elementals that have just joined combat?
They're still loyal to Kasshim Kassam.
All right, then Cheshire's going to go after the closest elemental. Are they within short range?
They would be within close range of everyone else, so within short range of you.
Fantastic. Okay, so the tyrant lizard that had just clawed at Kasshim is going to turn its attention to the closest elemental, and it's going to turn black in waves. It's going to disperse into several ice shards, contradicting the black shards of the elemental, and they're going to start washing over it in a wave of diamond dust.
Right, I'll give you 1 point start for that.
What's my current initiative?
13.
All right, let's do a decisive.
Bow, bow, bow. 1 moment, sorry.
Oh. Yeah, I'm glad the music's coming through, Zenrobo. Big shout out to Zenrobo, one of the Exalt Twitch players. If you're seeing this video and like it, and you haven't already checked out Exalt Twitch, definitely recommend finding them on both Twitch and YouTube. Search Exalt Twitch. Got a brilliant series which inspired us starting this our own sort of streaming series of this campaign. So yeah, very highly recommend it. I think I binged watched. Carry on.
Cheshire, when you roll for your attack against this creature, can you please tell me how many of your dice come up failures?
Will do.
All of them. Joking. Oh, jeez.
Okay, so I'll roll the damage, and then I'll give a social action after, if that's all right.
Okay.
Okay, so that's 4 successes on the attack roll, but 2 failures. Or do you need total failures or ones?
Any dice that you roll that is not a success.
Oh man.
Oh dear.
So that's 11.
Duly noted.
I don't trust it, folks.
And sorry, was this withering or was it decisive?
Decisive.
Okay. Ooh. Okay. So that's a hit against it. Sorry, I should have mentioned.
Okay.
You do defeat its hardness. It did use a charm when you attacked called Breakable Gemstone Armor, but it's effectively had no effect here because your initiative is ever so slightly higher than its new hardness.
Whew.
So you have 13 damage dice to roll.
Wow, I got another 4 successes.
Another 4? What?
Yeah, I rolled 13 dice and got 4 successes on damage.
At least you've been consistent with your dice rolling, you know? At least you know what to expect. I mean, that's, you know.
Fair. Okay, so as the ice pass over the 2 soldiers, they go around the soldier, kind of flashing through it, and then solidifying before they smack into the elemental. And as Cheshire whirls, he says, "It seems that my allies have gotten the situation under control. I suggest you chill." Persuasion to lay down arms and just hit the ground. And they're gonna throw themselves at my feet. I'm using my tie of infatuation.
Okay.
Manipulation.
Make a roll against their resolve. You know.
Cool. Manipulation performance, +1 specialty, +4, because I have 6 appearance, they have resolve 2. Let's do this. And I'm also keeping my 2 masterful performance and the illusion charm active. Okay, that is 7 successes.
So that's a success. No, they're not interesting enough. They're not going to spend willpower on their decision. They do reach a decision. They don't spend their willpower on it. They have no. Their loyalty to Kasshim is not strong enough. So they lay down their weapons and they just sort of prostrate themselves before the gleaming ice sculptures. The elemental that you have sort of just sheared through as the ice makes its way past, and it moves forward into the fray. See, it's got these still mostly in shape, but each of its crystal facets is starting to sort of crack and rupture. Those that aren't, those that are sort of cracking and rupturing start to vibrate heavily before shattering in this great crystal spray, sort of just flying out across the entire scene. This is a charm that the Victory is using called Shattered Crystal Spray. Because it has just taken some decisive damage, it's going to make a decisive attack against everyone in short range of it. All enemies within short range of it.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So everybody, what are your defenses?
I'll go first. My evasion right now is 4. I qualify as dancing, so I'm going to use Battle Dancer method to boost that by half my performance, including specialty, so that's +3. So I'm sitting at 7.
Mine is at 3, but Warline Stance is a Xinlong Charm. Is Plucky still close enough to defend other on me?
Good question.
Yes, he hasn't moved that far.
Yeah.
All right, excellent. So it's 3 plus whatever Captain Ash's defense is.
Cool. Let's have a look at Adori's defense bonus to make sure I've calculated
Although
it.
it's 3. Doe's defense bonus should be 1.
Sorry, folks. Defense. Yeah, it's medium plus 1, so I should be sitting at 6. If my does my speciality count for defenses purposes?
What's your specialty?
Melee balance. So whenever I'm using a sword.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah. Sorry. Do I want to pump it up though? That's the question, folks. I'm probably going to.
It's a question.
Probably am going to kick in some charms. Because why not? Are any of you two going to
To what?
kick any defensive?
Yeah, I'm going to spend 2 points on Dipping Swallow to actually boost my parry to 4 because it gets rid of my penalties. And if I manage to parry, I'll get a point of initiative. So that seems worth it.
I'm gonna do Bulwark Stance, so I'm activating Bulwark Stance.
Is that reflected?
Believe so. Should be. Yeah, it's reflexive. It's 5 motes.
Okay.
That should ignore all penalties.
Banishes penalties and things.
Until the next turn, it gives penalties to a parry defense. The chosen's definitive guard dampens her foe strike. Any damage roll made against a sailor takes a -1 penalty for each 1 rolled on the attack roll, up to a maximum of the sailor's essence. So 1. So, yeah.
Is that Bulwark Stance?
Yeah. Bulwark Stance, I think. Bulwark
Okay.
Stance, yeah. And I think I'll be able to reflexively parry Etzer without any penalty.
So you'll need to be defending for yourself. If you are still correct, you don't have to reactivate Warline Stance,
No.
but you'll be defending for yourself. You'll be then defending again for him.
Yep.
So normally you would be taking onslaught penalties for that, but because you've activated Bulwark Stance, that's not going to happen. And then Cheshire as well. So, what is your total defense?
My total defense is 6. My parry sitting at 6 at the moment.
Okay. So the Valkyrie has rolled 3 attacks and gotten 8 on each attack.
Jesus.
So it's not going to push through to train to her Etzer, so it's going to hit Ash twice, and it's going to hit Cheshire once. It does need to divide its current initiative between those. Does anybody currently have hardness?
I don't think my armor offers hardness.
Nope. You get hardness from armor, and I think we're all unarmored.
Specifically artifact armor.
Okay, no, then no
Because
hardness.
I have regular armor, which does nothing in the hardness department.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I'm going to die, folks. It's all
So
over.
here's bad news. It has 8 initiative. It has 8 initiative. So it's going to divide that into not quite even. So there will be a attack of 2, an attack of 3, those 2 against Ash, and then an attack of 3 against Cheshire. So I'll roll Cheshire's first. Sorry, I'll try and get all the rolling out of the way first, and then go dive into the description.
No worries, dude. Oh, folks, is this the Yeah, I mean,
You'll
I'm
be fine.
pretty tapped out. I'm seeing it, what, three essence in my pool at the moment.
Just reminds me that we need
just
to one
you.
shot.
Cheshire, you're taking 2 lethal. Oh wait, no, sorry, no, I have to reroll that because it gets bonus damage on this roll equal to its current wound penalty as well.
Oh god, what have you done?
It is that. Okay, cool. So it's still, what is wrong with this thing? Sorry.
These Voktri are scary things. I did not look them over in the book too much, and now I know that I should do that more often.
Yep, they are a darn good elemental.
Oh, we've lost Elk there for a second. You still around, Elk?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, the window was dying on me. I just had to reset it.
No worries. That should come up in a second, folks. Hopefully.
That's better.
Yeah,
Okay, sorry.
back.
So Cheshire is taking 2 lethal. And then it was. All right. Okay. I was expecting that. Who's taking it off?
I can't hear you, Elk. You're breaking up really badly. Sorry.
I think he has 2 has ox body.
I do.
I mean, I do.
Okay, good. Cheshire, you've taken 2 lethal from the being assaulted by 100 small crystal spines as they sort of just lodge into your skin, punch through you, shooting out the other side. Some of them being lodged in place, peppering you with these wounds. Ash, as you dive in front and swinging Ari around, sort of knocking some of them aside. Sorry, Etzer, these all around you, these sort of crystal shards sort of just rain into the ground, like just sort of all around you as Ash interposes himself between you. Great sweeps of addery through the air, deflecting them from you, but then he himself sort of getting peppered with these shards that were meant for you. Ash, you've taken 2 separate attacks. The first one was 2 lethal damage. The second one was 4 lethal damage.
Was any of those have a 1 in them? The rolls?
No, I checked that before.
Okay, cool. So that's how much total damage?
6 total lethal.
Ouch.
Yeesh.
Thank you, Oxbody.
Yeah. 4. Okay, cool. Whew, 6 lethal, folks. That hurts.
Has that plunged you down into a wound penalty?
Oh yeah, I'm seeing it -1.
Okay.
Same.
Blood.
That resets the Voktry's attack initiative to 3. And Cheshire's action is now over. The next highest initiative is Captain Ash.
Is it start of a new round?
No. This is the same round.
Oh, okay, cool. So there's still 2 of these elementals, correct?
Yep.
Okay. And one of them's injured. Is that correct?
Correct.
Which one's
Correct.
moving more agile? Which one's got the highest sort of initiative? Or can I tell that?
You don't see the world through game mechanics.
No. But which one seems to be pressing?
The one that had the best positioning at the time.
Yeah.
Was the one that just exploded.
Okay. I will try and do a withering attack on that one then. That seems to be the most threatening, and it certainly showered me with green crystals. I don't like that, folks. So I'm going to sort of brushing himself off and going, "Oh, my shirt's ruined. Saren is going to kill me." Looks accusingly at the slightly worse for wear elemental. Flicks his hat towards it, obscuring his view, running low, striking at the belly, looking to push it back towards the building to like sort of restrict how it can press its advantage, and then with a flick of his wrist putting the hat back onto him and sort of trying to keep him at bay between a sort of cart of goods and the side of a building. That's pretty much my withering attack. Any stun dice for that? And I'm not being the best descriptor.
I'll give you 1 point.
Thank goodness, that sets off the wound penalty a
That's
little
all right.
bit. +2.
Can you please tell me how many dice you roll on this that don't come up a success?
I will indeed. 11. I'll be rolling 13 dice, folks. Let's get that roll going. Ooh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 not showing as successes if my counting's right, and I have 7 successes.
8?
Yep, let me double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 not showing up as successes.
Oh, 8 failed dice.
8 failed dice and 7 successes.
Okay, so you have 4 thresholds.
Plus 1 automatic success from...
It's soak.
Yeah, Soakers.
Sorry, against this attack, its soak is 20.
Jeez, I might be rolling overwhelming then. I think that's applicable to this situation, isn't it? Indeed. So, plus 12. How much threshold successes do I have? Sorry?
You rolled 7, so your thresholds is 4. Thresholds are 4.
16. You add your strength as well, don't you? Yeah, I'm not gonna hit that.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna roll my overwhelming, which is 4.
No, it's a balanced weapon.
What do you mean?
Balance adds to your overwhelming rating.
So
Oh,
the stat block will say that the overwhelming is 4, but because it's a balanced weapon, it gets +1 to overwhelming, so it's 5.
5. Good catch, folks. See, I've got to admit, I'm like quite new to like combat. This is my first time really doing it in Exalted for Fresh. So thanks for being patient with me. Let's roll those dice. 5d10s coming up. That's only 2 successes. I don't know. Does the 1 automatic success from Adori get counted at this point as well, or does it get?
Is it automatic success on damage roll or attack roll?
I believe it's damage roll. Let me double check though. Do. 1 automatic success to all with damage rolls.
Then yes.
Okay, cool.
So that's what?
3.
3 successes, folks.
3 in total?
Yep, 3 in total.
Exactly enough to crash it.
Yay!
Meaning that you've jumped to 13 initiative.
Oh, Dory, I love you. That's sort of my bae, folks. I'm not even joking.
One of them.
Well, yeah, one of them. Let's like get carried away.
I can see Captain Ash in like a weird harem anime where it's just you and a bunch of swords.
Will you stop screaming
I'm
at me
not-
and nagging, Sword of Fords?
I'm not sure if I should consider that a harem or like a different kind of harem.
Stay tuned for more swordplay later.
Oh,
So,
God.
because we're playing a game currently, as Ash leaps forward through with his attack, Adder again singing through the air, sort of, it makes that, you know, that careening, almost scream sound that Goku makes when he's or Kaioken. No,
No, I don't know.
Yes, go on.
Sure. What?
that sound though.
I do.
That just sort of this scream as she sings through the air. She loves to fight. She loves being used as a weapon. The only thing she didn't like was being used to betray people who loved the person wielding her. So as she sings and exults in this battle, sort of spinning around Ash as he sort of crashes into this crystalline creature, sort of starts breaking it down, pushing it apart, pushing it backwards. It sort of stumbles backwards. It's as it moves, rather than having feet, it just sort of has this wave of crystals that sort of glitter into clatter into place to create for itself a sort of stabilized to sort of exist upon. But even that seems to falter as it tries to support itself with broken crystals as it starts to sort of break and shatter backwards. So next up in the initiative order is second, and it doesn't waste any time.
Sorry to stop you, Elk. We're getting
Flow
some.
like a wave of these emerald crystals that just cascading.
I'm having
Sorry, go on.
real trouble. I don't know if the other two players are getting big mic distortions.
Yeah.
I'm finding it really hard to like
Yeah, it's breaking up.
hear that. So it might be an idea to like maybe rejoin Discord and see if that cleans it up a little bit.
And your camera
Okay.
fell off.
Yeah,
Give me 1 sec.
I don't know if you've got anything else downloading stuff or like Steam. Steam's always my culprit when I like notice bandwidth. It's like, why is my
1 second,
internet so- it's like I've left Steam open. It's usefully updating stuff when I don't want it to. Whew, folks. I mean, those elementals. God.
Yeah, they're just phasing through the ground instead of walking. It's I like the description.
Mm.
It works quite well.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like we weren't. I don't know why I was so surprised when some of these elementals appeared and started like being quite formidable, but we were like definitely warned about like the defenses of the city, and it was like, ooh, like, why are these elementals happening in the sorceress held city? You, Etzer, owe me a drink though, Butterino.
Mistakes may have been made.
Mistakes? I see no mistakes here.
Yeah, I mean, it's poetry in motion. That's what it is. Oh dear.
I
Bye,
culture shock
Beirut.
realized this was a really bad idea, but based on the fact that I think we're going to win, I think Etzer may or may not learn a lesson today.
I mean, it was like this was part of your plan, right?
This
You
went
went-
on without a problem, without a hitch. Except for you, you're full of crystalline charts. But
Yeah. Cheshire's not gonna like that very much. Definitely looking forward to how the round turns out. But hey, lots of crash bonuses. Enemy got one on Etzer last time. Captain Ash got one on the elemental. It's all coming together.
Okie dokie. Sorry about that. Am I coming in clear now?
You sound a lot clearer.
Yes.
Okay. Apologies, there's lots of children screaming in the background as well. One moment.
Well, I mean, I'm not surprised they're screaming. Massive elementals and anathema are fighting in the centre of town. I'd be, like, really upset too.
It's the only rational way
Yeah.
that you should behave right now.
No, they need to be sitting on top of the buildings, just watching and eating candies, and then just like dropping like a hard rock candy at one of the elementals. Here you go. I know you like rock candy.
Wow. Love it.
Sometime I'll have better internet, and this will cease being a problem.
It's all good, Elk. It's all good.
Okay, so as Addery is singing as it exalts in being used in battle, sort of careening through the air and sort of humming out this wonderful tune of Song of Battle, the creature is pushed back. Crystal shards clattering into place behind it, trying to give it some sort of purchase or platform to steady itself, but to no avail, as each swing of the sword sort of cuts through or cracks another crystal, and it starts trying to rely on its broken parts to stand, and this falters as it sort of cracks and stumbles backwards. The other elemental that has been called into battle wastes no time, moving like a waving tide of emerald green, sort of careens through the space in waves, circling around its master and sort of forming up into a crystal case around it as it starts to vibrate at the bottom, digging its way down back into the ground. It's going to attempt to disengage from everybody carrying Kasshim Kassam. Does anyone want to resist it?
Yep, I would like to challenge it if I'm in range to do it.
Yes, it's in close range to everyone except Chia.
Because I'm still prone, I cannot contest any movement actions.
There you go. Just up to Ash.
Ash will...
Once again, carry this whole fight.
Do Dawn things.
As Ash notices the emerald sphere sort of protective barrier forming over it, he says, "Oh no you don't!" He lashes out with a dory and lets free some neatly stacked wine barrels and send them tumbling over to redirect the in the hopes to redirect the shield and efforts to bury to like fortifying the flank in which these tumbling barrels move at great speed and inertia to one side. And I mean, I don't know what I'm rolling, but that's my sort of stunt to sort of hamper its ability to disengage and protect Kasshim.
It would be a dexterity plus athletics.
Athletics, cool.
I will give you a 1 point stunt for your description.
That's Dex plus athletics. That's a 9. That's 11 dice. Let's roll these. I'm not going to kick any charms in, folks, because I don't have the essence to spare. Wow, that was one success with 2 ones.
You didn't botch.
I didn't.
You didn't botch.
I didn't botch. That's the important thing. Whoa, these barrels are actually like...
The barrels are filled with acid that the elemental is immune to, but sort of melts away the ground, thus allowing it to escape faster.
Also, Etzer,
But seriously, the the creature manages to submerge itself into the ground, sort of tunneling downwards and away from your reach. That's Etzer's turn.
So there's one of these things still here, and the other 2 guards are basically bowed out of this fight.
Yeah, well, they were never in the fight technically, so yeah.
Whatever is it? They refused to join. They
Yeah.
decided to opt out of being part of this kerfuffle. All All right. How far away from me is the other factory?
It's within close range, so you could roll over at it and attack it, or you could try to stand up.
Off the ground, man!
I am going to attempt to disengage from it. Is it going to contest my roll?
No, it's not.
Thank God.
But to be able to disengage, you're going to need to stand, aren't you?
Can I roll away? Like literally, like I'm on fire. Stop, drop, and roll.
I'm pretty sure being prone stops you from being able to take any kind of movement action.
Oh, okay, well then I'll just stand up.
Okay. It's not going to contest that, so you can just stand. That unfortunately is a combat action.
That is a
Rising
combat
from
action.
prone.
Yep.
So as Etzer manages to sort of, you know how in those martial arts movies they always like throw the legs in one direction and sort of swiftly come up to standing. This is more of a sort of an inglorious sort of rolling over like a tortoise hefting itself back up to standing, sort of as Gomon sort of just clatters on the ground as he hastily gets himself up and dusts himself off. That's the end of the round. Everyone can gain 5 motes.
Yeah, thank goodness.
And it is Cheshire and Ash's action in the same time.
Subdue these elementals, but don't shatter them any further. Ash attempts to persuade Cheshire from causing that explosion of death that came showering out. How have the people fared that were with our caravan? Are they took sufficient cover, or were they caught in the blast?
Yeah, they're in the. We never actually really established who you brought with you.
Yeah. Lady
I think
Talia's
that
here.
was some of the Patella.
And the flotilla.
Yeah, I would have taken Bat Bayar because she knows how to ride horses and handle them. And maybe Delta Swan, just because he's a responsible adult.
So yes, you have Talia and the, 2 of the members of the Patella here with you. They're safely locked away inside the caravan. They have not peeked out, except that Talia is sort of hanging out the window, watching what's going on, sort of jaw agape as these crystal shards are sort of just scattered about the window around her, just narrowly avoiding her, but she doesn't seem to have sort of moved or cared.
Ash looks to Cheshire. Shall we try and subdue it together, my friend?
Cheshire is doubled over in some pain, gripping his side where the crystals are sticking out. I think you've got this one. I'm gonna go after the mole.
Ash nods. And we'll continue to kind of force the elemental. I mean, are they? They're quite large, aren't they? How large are they again?
You'd probably consider they're with all the crystals intact and together. It's roughly 10 feet tall, or can be an imposing 10 feet tall. At the moment, it's quite broken. So it's maybe barely making 6 at this point.
So Ash is going to keep on giving no quarter to this elemental, pushing him back, herding it towards a house that has its doors open, and is going to try and contain it within there, trying to slowly wither it away and subdue it. So he's going to press on his attack. He's going to roll.
Strike it down. It can't explode if you explode it.
Rolling 9 dice, -1, so I'm rolling 8 dice for a withering attack. Let's do this. Any stunt dice?
Yeah, I'll give you 1 point.
Is this withering or decisive?
This is withering. I score 5 successes. And there's 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 unsuccesses. Non-successes.
You can't use that right now because it's crashed.
Okay.
But thank you, nonetheless. That is 2 threshold successes.
Excellent. What's its soak sitting at?
12.
12. And I take my -1 penalty off this roll as well, do I?
Not for damage, no. Only
No.
for attacking.
Okay, so that's plus 12. Plus... sorry, what was his defense again? I know you just said it to me. My memory is...
You've got 2 thresholds.
Fantastic. Thank you, Elk. And its soak again was 5, was it?
12.
12 soak. Jeez. So I'm rolling 4 dice.
It's made of rock. What do you expect?
I get 3 successes plus an automatic success from Adori. That makes 4 successes.
It does. Putting you on 18 initiative.
That's not a success from Adore. That's decisive damage roll, right?
Oh god, no, it's withering. I'm pretty sure. She gains
Yeah, if it
Okay.
grants
grants
him
one
enough, it gives him
all withering
3
damage.
Cool.
Yeah, so again, Addery is still singing gleefully as it sort of just careens through the air. This creature doesn't seem to be able to stand a chance against Ash's almost blender-like emotion. This sword just sort of crashing through the air as it moves away, is sort of cut through, pushed back, and sort of rendered backwards into this house with this conveniently open door. So it sort of pushes it back in, sort of takes a step and just sort of kicks it closed with the back of his boot. Cheshire.
Okay, so Cheshire's going to leap from the cart that he's been standing on the whole time. He's going to run or flip forward over and in front of the other elemental. He's going to flash his zenith symbol, stomp his foot, and the fire is going to go from being in a circle down into the pit. And it's illusory fire, so it's not actually burning. And he's going to demand, come back here immediately, channeling all of his zenith might into calling the spirit back. This is a double action, one for respect toward me as an instill, and then a persuasion to return to the surface.
Okay. So we've sort of covered this before. Because you're doing 2 social actions at the same time, one of them can't benefit from the other in the same action. So you can still do the persuade, but you don't really have any intimacies to key off with it, as far as you're aware.
Okay. Then
Just so you're
Cheshire. Okay. Then Cheshire's banking on his zenithy self to do this.
Okay.
Show them who's boss. Cheshire.
That'll be manipulation presence, I believe. That one would be.
Okay. Manipulation present. What's their resting resolve?
Four.
Okay, and any stun dice.
I'll give you 1 point.
Cool. I'm gonna throw 15 dice at this.
Yeah, I think go big or go home. Otherwise it's going to elude us, and that's a shame.
Oh, go big, you say? I have an excellency. Okay, let's add a 5-mode excellency.
Now you're talking my language! And that was the reason why I was only on 3 essence.
Get
3 motes.
back here! You crystalline, snarky.
Get over here!
Pretty much. That's exactly what he's going for with... with 13 successes.
Look at those 10s. Wow.
There's a certain type of loyalty that you can't buy with money. The kind of loyalty that is grown and shared. Sorcerers can bind creatures to their will, and certainly when you summon an elemental, that is kind of what you're doing. But unlike subduing a demon into servitude, when you summon an elemental, you create it. You give birth to it. You are its conceptual parent. And that's the kind of loyalty that this creature has for Kasshim. It doesn't care about worldly politics. It doesn't necessarily see him as a bad person, but it's loyal to him. And so with a not insignificant amount of will, it presses on against Cheshire's urgings and sinks further and further into the ground. That's scene. Sorry, not scene. That's round. Wait, no, it's not.
I still have things to do.
Yeah.
That's right.
And I don't think I'm crashed anymore?
Etzer. Etzer is... You're still crashed, technically. Oh, wait, no. You reset
Because
space.
it's been 3 rounds?
Third round.
Yes.
Boom.
So this...
Actually, interestingly, are you going to abandon your spell?
Well, that's what I want to find out. So this hole that they're escaping at, is it filling up after they're going down, or is it just like an open pit into the ground?
It sort of is allowed to move through the ground of its own. It doesn't necessarily leave a hole behind. So there's a hole insofar as, that's where it went down. It's sort of broken up the surface and churned the earth, but it is not a whole tunnel that you could sort of just jump down and meet it.
So it's planning to suffocate his owner. I like it, Elemental. I like it a lot.
So I cannot cast my spell down a hole, is what you're saying.
No.
No, without a stunt, buddy.
Just starts digging at it with his hands like, oh my god. Oh.
With an appropriate stunt, would this be a thing that could be done?
Etzer?
Or should I just move on to simpler targets?
Etzer?
Okay.
No.
Can I ask you a question, buddy?
Mm-hmm.
Can you take control of the elemental? Could we, race it with our own elemental that we've, borrowed control of? Because Etzer's took the control spell of, Mists? No. Oh.
Well,
Could be like Wacky Races episode.
Valkyrie don't breathe, and they are immune to poisons, as I understand, because they are made of rock.
Mundane poisons and disease.
Nothing mundane about Etzer.
Is Ash still in close combat with the factory?
Yeah, he sort of stunted moving it into a house and closing the door behind him, so...
Right.
So just lean in through the window.
Etzer, after his graceful method of standing up, will continue his dexterous actions that he has before, and sort of throw both his hat and his cane over sort of the edge of the wall in the square where illusory fire is, and sort of leap as awkwardly as he can over it to put some space in it. he's going to attempt a disengage action, but in his wake, he leaves trailers of mist that like swirl about the square, and it pulls into the evaporated, dissipating essence of Kassam, Stormwind Rider to rebuff and grow and fill the now empty courtyard with a thick opalescent fog that shines like rainbows and lulls everyone in there to a deep slumber.
Friendly fire.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure what's happening, folks. It sounds interesting, though.
I'm basically dropping a grenade and jumping away from the point blank range.
Okay, in the house or just in the courtyard where there's nothing?
Just in the courtyard.
The mist spreads out to short range, I believe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, I think
even
the only person I risk knocking out is me and it, which I think is acceptable. The Vatri, the remaining one.
The remaining one,
Ash is in the
and
house.
Ash,
No,
and Ash and Cheshire.
yeah, like so what I've done, Etzer, is I've kind of funneled it into a house and then shut the door behind it, so it's kind of contained within this house, hopefully. Well, as contained as that giant elemental can be. Just to like stop. So I think we're in the courtyard, it's in a house. That's how I envisage it. I'm not sure.
Oh, sorry, I missed that part.
I'm not sure if that's how. Is that pretty much how the scene is?
I thought Ash pushed it into the house and walked in with it and closed the door behind
yeah, sure, that's fine. I'm happy to be in the house as well. That's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Smoke them out in the window.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. In that case, Etzer will run up to the house and yelling back at Batbyar, say, "Hey, remember when we broke into the comptroller's house and stole all of his ledgers?" And just smashes the window with his rack staff, and then pokes his mouth up to the gaping hole and starts belching thick, billowous smoke into the building.
Ash, I'll need you to roll stamina plus resistance, please.
Fantastic. I guess I could use my excellency because I've got resistance. I think I might do that.
Do it.
Yeah.
You don't want to fall asleep to this thing.
2, 3,
It will make performing surgery on him easier.
8. I'm gonna kick in 3 motes. Why not? And I've got a -1 wound penalty, which will of course apply to this one. So I'm getting 2 dice. So that's stamina. Sorry, folks. My brain is like in slow mode. 8.
What's
10.
the difficulty of your poison?
Yeah, that's a good question. So Ash rises from a crouching.
None. Good question. It just says it's each round that a character breathes or has skin exposed to the mist, he must roll against its poison, damage 3 initiative round, duration 6 rounds, -3 penalty.
So
Let's see, specific difficulty though.
each success they get in their stamina resistance reduces its duration by a round.
Yes.
But there's usually a base difficulty for the poison too. If it doesn't say anything, then it's base 1.
So Ash will cut down a clothesline in front of him and grab a sort of wet shirt that was drying in front of the fire, wrap it around his head to act as a like makeshift mask. A little bit confused what's happening. There's a shimmering mist enwraps him. I take a dice penalty to my roll, don't I? Due to it's is that what the minus?
No, so you've been. Okay, so the way poisons work is that they have a vector. Sometimes it's damage, sometimes it's ingestion. In this particular case, just letting it touch your skin infects this poison. To resist against it, you roll your stamina plus resistance against a set difficulty. If it doesn't say a difficulty, it defaults to 1. So as long as you get at least 1 success, you succeed at the roll, and then any successes you have rolled reduces its duration by 1 round.
Okay,
Its
cool.
base duration is 6 rounds, I believe Etzer said. Yep. Okay, so you rolling 10 successes reduces its duration to 0 or below, meaning you are unaffected by it. But each new round, as long as you stand in here, you're going to be exposed to it again.
Ooh. That's not good, folks.
The Vakhtri, however, interestingly enough, has rolled 4 successes, meaning that it is infected with this poison for 2 rounds. It has 2 rounds of duration. This is the end of the round, and so it takes initiative damage, does it not?
Yep, 3 dice.
All right. It falls unconscious.
I've got 5 successes on my roll.
Can you say you rolled 11?
You resisted, Plucky. You're fine.
No, I haven't rolled. This is my roll. I'm rolling 10 dice. I just wasn't sure if I had a modifier.
I'm sorry. I thought you said you rolled 10 successes.
No, dude. No. Because I noticed that it said like it had a minus modifier when I was looking at the spell, and I didn't know if that applied to this roll, so I didn't want to. Like...
No, that's for
Not
actions
this-
afterwards.
Okay, cool. Not for this one, Plucky, but the
Okay.
next ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've rolled 5 successes,
Yeah.
which means you're infected for 1 round.
Mhm.
This round.
Yep.
Which means at the end of this round you take 3 dice of initiative damage.
Okay, cool.
1 second.
Which you're not anywhere near Crash, so you'll be fine.
You take 2 initiative damage, and
Mhm.
the Vakhtri takes 1.
I'm going to spend a point of willpower to control the dreams of the Vakhtri.
That you can. Because this spell is strange.
Dream puppetry, go.
Yeah.
The Vakhtri sort of shudders, and the crystal sort of just collapse into this heap on the floor as it starts to twitch once and then twice. And then you see it reform itself. And let's take our first break here.
Excellent. Should we collect the essence for the start of the round? Was that a new round?
That's end of combat.
Oh, okay, fantastic. Wow, folks, that
We live.
was not how I thought it was going to go. But, jeez, that was ooh.
Really sucks that the guy got away.
For now.
For now, I mean, I think we didn't die. Etzer didn't die, which I was really concerned about being a real possibility. We learned something about Kasshim Kassam, or at least I did, thanks to Adori. Love that sword. And yeah.
Just want to say shout out and say thank you very much for our viewers for putting up that was our first combat we've run through as a group, so it's been a bit stop and start.
It has.
Sorry about the technical difficulties, but we've worked those out now. So I'm looking forward. I do need to take a quick break and get a drink because I'm a bit parched.
You go first, storyteller. And anybody else that wants to go can go, and I'll keep people entertained with my ramblings and stuff. So you guys.
All right, cool. I'll see you guys soon.
See you in a bit.
I need to go beat a dog. Come here, you.
Well, folks, it's just you, me, and Shima Umazai here. I'm only joking. I won't give you more of him for now. So yeah, I apologise because I understood I was slowing down that combat and think it's my first time doing Exalted 3rd edition, and there's quite a few differences. So I wanted to make sure that I got it right, the different steps, and I'm dyslexic and I'm pretty tired, so calling out those numbers and doing mental math, well, probably frustrating. Allow me to make sure that I got it right and stuff, and it might have been useful for people that are unfamiliar with the system and mechanics. So, I mean, hopefully that wasn't too bad. I need to also sort out my monitors and get some displays of information to make it quicker for calculating them, because the sheet I feel probably isn't the best for it's good for having all the information there, but it's not as fluid as I'd like, and I don't want to slow down subsequent combat. So I'll work on that, folks. But yeah, I quite liked the combat. It was loving those elementals. That really added a character and twist to that combat. And I was wondering, like, whether the cinnamon guy was going to appear, or girl, or entity. I mean, because there was previously when we went to the bandit, I say bandit, the like displaced people of Chiru. I don't know how to say it, folks. The city in which we're in, like sort of rebel forces, if you will. There was just the smell of cinnamon because I got really enhanced, unsurpassed senses. I was like sniffing it all around camp and was like, "Can people smell cinnamon?" And they were like looking at me as if I was crazy. And then I like started kicking in spirit detecting glance and noticing creatures that other people couldn't see. And I was talking to Amber Glow, and people just thought I was talking to myself. So I'm pretty convinced that the people outside of Chiru think I'm Crazy Zix from last episode, where it was like, cinnamon, people smell cinnamon? And then like talking to a person that wasn't there. So it's going to be interesting.
Who's crazy now?
Captain Ash, because last episode he was like, can people smell cinnamon? And everybody was thinking I was crazy, talking about this strong smell of cinnamon all around the camp. And then I was talking to Amber Glow. Clearly somebody wasn't there, and I was just talking to her like a crazy dawn cast that I am. Yeah.
Did we actually establish where the cinnamon smell was coming from?
Yeah, it's actually coming from where we were delivering our cargo, like in the main office that we were like going to collect the money, which so I could smell the same smell. So the person or thing that was relieving that smell is close by. It's not Kasshim Kassam, because he smells of curried fish. So
interesting that curried fish. Curried fish, that's not the first time that smell has been mentioned in game. Do you remember the last time it was mentioned?
No.
When Adore was having her heartbreak attack.
Oh gosh.
On the boat.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. I feel like like hopefully you would be able to like catch up with Kasshim Kassam, because I think he's a very dangerous character, and if we allow him to report back, that's going to cause a lot of problems. But I mean,
definitely.
My dexterity athletics was just not enough. At least I didn't botch though and get buried under barrels. Yeah.
That would have been terrible.
That would have been bad.
But botches can be fun.
They can be fun. I mean, it would be entertaining. I find that hilarious. Like Ash like buries himself under his own barrels. So,
no, I think the way to proceed now is we know that he might try to escape instead of take us on again, because we've demonstrated that we can take him on 3v1.
Yeah.
Just not honorable duel. So we need to cut him off before he reaches his own ship.
Yeah, his ships. But I don't know what those winds do though. I'm like really concerned about the winds that who's gathering around him.
It's Stormwind Rider.
Would you guys know about that?
He was trying to escape.
He was trying to escape, yeah.
That, and it counts as a flying mount, which makes it harder to hit him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And lets him use Intercult instead of Dex, Athletics, or Dodge for any movement actions. And it can also let him move 2 range bands a turn if he's willing to spend some motes. Oh, he doesn't have motes. He can't use those powers.
That we know of.
He is human.
Sorcerer,
human.
That we know of. Like.
I mean, but I think it's within the realm of possibility with workings to create a phantom mote pool.
I think that's what that amulet was doing.
For activating specific powers of spells.
I think that would be quite, like, definitely in the realms of possibility.
Reasonable.
Yeah.
Because otherwise quite a few spells lose a lot of functionality if you can't access the subparts, like Skin of Bronze or Wood Dragon's Claw.
Yeah. I mean, I've got some occult knowledge, so I mean, but I think that's more going to be like. I guess I've got lore. I don't know.
I think the thing I'm the saddest about is we didn't get to sack beat him, steal his bling necklace, and give it to Plucky, so we could be a trio of sorcerers.
Watch this
Although I don't know if
face.
you went scarification blister necklace.
I mean, I've already got scars thanks to like saving your sorry body. Look at it, like the shirt's ruined, there's blood. I'm like getting high off this Evertide mist. I mean, jeez, dude, don't do me any favors. that was good. That was good. I really like the it bellowing out of your mouth as well. That was really visually appealing. It was just really good. I was saying to the viewers, Elk, that was a really nice sort of for a first combat. I felt like the nice surprise with the golem crystal monster elementals, which was a nice twist. I mean, we should have seen it like coming, but like I was like surprised, but it was really well foreshadowed that I shouldn't have been, and it was really nice. There you go, done. I mean, obviously, I'm so lucky that I had those ox bodies. Otherwise, I think things would be in a dire situation. But I think with like -1 wound penalties, it's like you've been wounded, but it isn't like so much to you can like kind of ignore the pain and go on a little bit. I figure with stamina 5, I figure that's I mean, let me know if I'm like. I feel like it's kind of a concern, but it's I figure because Ash is so tough, it's not like so he's going to be like too slow, more sore than anything else.
So let me put it to you this way. Without Ox Body, you would be at -4 wound penalties, which means you're at death's door.
Yeah, I know. That's very scary. Yeah. Like
the average person would be screaming about making sure their wife and kids know they love them, and you're just like, oh,
my shirt's ruined.
Shirt.
Yeah.
That's a 10. That's a 10. I'm feeling a 10 right now. Okay. Oh. I'm sorry about the length of my break just then. I had to deal with some injured children.
Oh no! I hope
managed
they're
to
okay.
hurt themselves again. Yeah, they just kicked their toe on something and lots of blood. You know, just kid things.
Well, at least it was actual blood and not a fake injury.
At least the children actually hurt themselves. I mean, because gosh.
I was busy putting diaper rash cream on a dog with fleas. That's what I was doing.
Oh.
And I was
all those times he just
fleas, but he has flea allergies, so once he gets bit, it just becomes super inflamed and he won't let go.
Okay.
So on that happy note, combat's over.
Yeah,
None of us died. None of us lost an arm.
Are we ready to go, or does Plucky need a break as well?
I think I'm good to press on, folks. Though you know, I might have to excuse myself if my drink passes through me later on. So we'll see. I think I'm fine though.
With the immediate danger past,
the children rejoice at our victory.
Tis the children of the night. What sweet music they make.
Those are just the children on the rooftops that were watching the entire skirmish.
When you first came into this city, Chia, I described it as not feeling abandoned, but certainly seemingly empty. Many people around. You could feel that there were people here. You saw the evidence of it. Lights in windows, the smoke billowing from chimneys. But when it comes to the people themselves... I'm sorry, that's really distracting. One sec. Just another foot injury. Lights in the windows and smoke billowing from the chimneys. Now that Ash has managed to get inside one of these buildings and really has a good look around, amidst the fog and the mist hanging about in this room, the Vakhtri moving in strange fits and starts. The table is set, but there's no food on it. There's a book being plucked down from a bookshelf, sort of resting on a reading table, but a small film of dust has collected on top of it. You can hear people moving about upstairs, but no one seems to have really lived here for what seems like a long time.
Well, Ash doesn't like this fog. It's like a little bit confused, and it seems to be like making him more drowsy. So he makes a mental note of that and tries to press out of the fog, try and find his way out of the mist, trying to like smell his way out through the.
It doesn't really occlude your vision.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like a dense fog you can't see through. It's like a light, sweet-smelling mist that would lull you to sleep pleasantly.
Oh, okay.
But fill your dreams with horrid nightmares were you to ever actually succumb to it.
Let's not have nightmares. Let's not do that, folks. So yeah, you're like, you're probably
So are you going to go out through the door, through the smashed window, or upstairs?
I think I'm gonna just like. Is the mist sort of looks like it's seeping upstairs, or?
It's heavy, dense mist, so it's going to hang around down here. It's not going to sort of expand outwards any more than it already is.
Okay, so it's not rising upwards. To the,
No.
Cool. Yeah, I'll instead escape the mist upstairs, but I will like. Actually, does my sensory surprise anticipation does my danger sense tingle as I like make a move towards going upstairs? No, then I will proceed upstairs, folks.
As you get upstairs, escaping out of the mist, sort of wiping it off your body and sort of passing through the doorway at the top of the stairs. Sorry, they're very noisy today. You find a family. What would be a husband and wife, and maybe a brother. They don't seem fully conscious, but they are moving around. Each of them have their hands sort of placed demurely at their front, as if they were sort of sitting in their hands resting ladylike in their laps. But they just seem to be moving about the room with no real purpose. And their hands, if you take a care to have a look, are bound in place.
Do they seem... Are they like in a sort of a trance state, or are they like aware of their surroundings? Do they seem like they're just like demoralized, or does this seem like supernatural? Do I need to make an occult roll for it, or is it...
They react to you and say hello.
Okay, so
they seem to
cool.
accept your presence in the room, but they don't seem concerned about their situation. They don't really seem to be doing or achieving anything, just sort of wandering about. Your keen senses can cut through the oils and perfumes that they wear to smell the scent of several days of unwash.
Ugh. Yeah, I'm going to try and like hone my senses further and see if I can pick up on the telltale pheromones of emotion. What is their current disposition? Like, would a read motive roll with automatic success? Like, what's their current disposition? Like, what are they? Like, their mood. I think that's effectively what it does. Let me just...
I would say contentment.
Contentment.
They're
You
not
seem
reacting.
unconcerned.
I'm surprised, because I'm glowing like a big bonfire beacon here. So,
Yes, you are.
I apologise for the interruption. Are you, were you harmed at all?
Oh, no, it is no trouble. Please, make yourself at home.
Alright. He takes off his hat and holds it to his chest. I appreciate the offer of hospitality. He puts his hat to one side. Are you hungry at all?
Oh, I suppose we haven't had a meal yet.
And with...
Oh, no, I am not hungry.
Come, have some food with me and tell me about what's been going on in this lovely city. And he pulls out his little wooden folding out cook set and starts to cook up some food and make some drinks and puts out a little bit of tea for each person's. Is there 3 of them?
3 of them, yeah.
Yeah, he put out a little cup of tea for each of them, and he'll start throwing down. Hey, he feels in the mood for fish, so he'd like take a small some small fish that he's picked up recently, and he'll it'd be salted fish because it's well preserved. He'd throw it in there, put some spices in there, he'd chop it up, and he'd wrap a ball of rice around them to make balls of rice with a salted fish in the centre, and he'll put one onto a little plate and hand it out to them. And he'll sit back, put his feet on the table, lean back, and so what's been happening recently? As he sort of picks at the ball that he made for himself.
They all sort of look down at these balls of rice. And they make conversation as if they were having a meal, but none of them move their hands to pick it up and eat.
Okay, can I do a lore roll to work out if I've heard of any tales of this kind of behaviour before? Because this seems really odd to Ash, and me as well. What's going on?
Well, yes, it's very odd.
Would stories of the Dreaming Sea be applicable, or
don't bother rolling.
Okay.
You haven't heard any specific stories about this specific type of behavior, but you have definitely heard word that the sorcerer lords of Etzer they're powerful will workers. Whatever they can dream up, they can conjure and create or control. It's not inconceivable that these people have been bewitched in some way. Not being a sorcerer yourself, you're not fully cognizant of all the possibilities, but they certainly seem abnormal. This isn't what you would expect from their behavior.
So Ash will attempt to when you have maybe in a younger family member that's not taking care of themselves, or an elderly person, he's going to take on that a little bit more of a sort of kindly, sort of humouring demeanour, and try and sort of feed them bits of the fishbowl, and maybe get a rag and sort of try and clean their faces and sort of help change their clothes to a more cleaner set. And he'll be doing this while if the others want to do anything else, unless they resist, and then he'll have to think of a different approach.
They're not going to resist. Outside of the courtyard, the light of Ash's banner has been subdued somewhat by stepping inside. The house still glows. You can see sort of silhouettes be sort of almost like a shadow play being cast out into the center of the the center of the courtyard. He seems to be interacting with people upstairs. Their shadows sort of playing out, as I said, in tableau. They seem to be eating, undressing.
Etzer is going to look over at Cheshire and say, they seem to be eating and removing their garments, which seem to be common habits that happen around Captain Ash. But still, does that not strike you as peculiar due to the abundant luminescence billowing off of him in what is a rather unusual fashion?
Cheshire looks up from picking out more crystal shards from his abdomen to Etzer as he's questioning, wincing in the pain. Yes, that is exceptionally strange. So, are there more people like this? Is my next question. And the question after that is, can we fix this?
I have an idea. We're going to engage in a bit of fiction, of fantasy, like a play per se. We're going to put on a persona, and we should probably act the part. For this particular performance, I will be playing Kasshim Kassam. And if you wouldn't mind being my scribe, you would mind, you cannot write. Remember things. Remember what it says. And Etzer is going to sort of square himself and take on the demeanor and stature of Kasshim Kassam and call out through the hole in the window, "Get up, lazy bones, and attend to me," and snap his fingers at the Vakhtri. I'm going to change its dream so it perceives me as Kasshim Kassam, and Cheshire is one of my one of the two guards that we had seen earlier, and we are in my study.
The two guards are still here, by the way.
Good for them. Someone needs to bear witness to this.
Are you using Perfect Mirror, or are you just making it see things that it's...
I'm just controlling its dreams.
Okay. They're vivacious today. All I can hear is my kids in the background. I'm hoping not too much of it is filtering through.
Nah, you're good.
The Vakhtri isn't moving as smoothly as it was before. I mean, it is injured, but there's a certain jaggedness to it now. Almost as if it stutters in motion, not quite sure of its surroundings. It doesn't have that same gleam it had before. Sort of a dull cast to it, sort of suggesting that it is indeed still asleep. It has no sort of face by which you can register its eyes opened or closed. It moves out across to the window and sort of pours itself out, taking a stance next to Kasshim and waiting for orders.
Today you will assist me in an experiment. One of my enemies has cast a curse on you. After that you have fulfilled your duties and sublimate back to the essence from which you are drawn, he will steal from you your knowledge. I have conducted a working of my own. Come, follow me. and he's going to see us walking towards like a magical circle and alchemical diagram on the ground. But Etzer's just going to walk over to the first box or whatever that he can find, so he has something to sit down on because he's had a trying day. It's like, we will go through your memories, and as we go through them, they will dissipate and blow off like mist in the breeze, and therefore he will not be able to get them because they shall be rendered into pure essence and scattered across creation. But first is some trial questions. I know these are going to seem silly, and we both know the answers to them, obviously, but it's sort of a control test, okay? So first off, what do I call you?
Magnificent One has named me 47.
That's correct. Good, good. You remember your number. As you can tell, you've had a little damage as part of this evil ritual cast upon you. So we need to double check these things. Could you also tell me how long you've been in my deploy, and what were you originally summoned for?
Magnificent One crafted me from the ground of the city. I have guarded it as per your orders. Sorry, I have guarded it as per Magnificent One's orders for 6 cycles.
Excellent. This all matches up. All right, so beginning with the day that you were summoned, let's go through everything I've had you do that you think might be compromising information that could be used against me. If I asked you, for instance, to go get me a saucer or a towel, obviously that we don't need to discuss. But if I said something hypothetically like, help me dominate and control this town, or any troop movements or other diplomatic negotiations or military conversations I've had with my assistants or captains that you think would be damaging to me and the country if it got out, please explain everything of that you've heard in as much detail as possible.
In continued conversation with 47, Etzer becomes quite confident that it hasn't actually spent much time in the presence of Kasshim. It does seem to refer to him as Magnificent One an awful lot. And its task seems to mostly have been just impeding people trying to disrupt the order of the city. It prides this task like it was guarding an artwork. This is unlike the order of Varai. It's it's extremely different. Here, everything plays out the story or narrative that Kasshim has given it. The people here move about as he dictates. Not necessarily sorcerously bound, but he has varying levels of control over the populace. Financial, magical, emotional.
Number 47. Because you are such a clever servant, capable of noticing many things and putting your mind to working out puzzles, and because I am such a pompous egotist, me, Kasshim Kassam, ass that I am, please tell me, what do you suspect my ultimate goal was with this plan, with this city? What diabolical plan do you think I was set out to do?
Magnificent One's plan seems clear. The city is in chaos. It cannot function. The low set against the high set against the low. Magnificent One's interests are not the city.
Oh, do tell. What do you think my true interests really are?
Magnificent One's true interests lie outside the city.
Thank you. Do you know who is captaining the ships out in the harbor, and how many sailors and marines are on each one?
47 has not traveled outside the city.
Could you if I needed you to? Again, I know, silly question, but you know, control policies and such.
47 has been tasked with maintaining order and frustrating the Low's attacks. 47 could not do this if it left the city.
That's good. That's all for now. Do me a favor. Go around the nearest buildings. I need you to find me some fine cloth, similar to the yogas that you see me normally wearing, and some pitch and some rope. Chop chop.
Magnificent One is very wise. We are inside Magnificent One's study. There are no buildings here.
That, see, like I said, you are a very, very clever elemental.
It doesn't take much cajoling to get it to eventually go and do whatever it is you need it to do.
Yeah, I want him to basically find some props for me, because I am going to be using Perfect Mirror, but it takes me a while to activate.
Okay. You can set it to the task of going about and gathering that you need. Cheshire, do you have anything particular you want to do or cover?
Are the two guards still around?
Yeah, they're bended knee, swords in front of them, bowing low to the ice sculpture you made for them.
Perfect. So Cheshire melts away the ice sculpture. He puts his one hand under each of their chins and lifts them up manually, and they're just going to fall into line.
Okay.
I have a few questions for you, both. And I think my friend would like a little insight as well, motioning over to Etzer.
Oh god, they're still here. Capital idea, Cheshire.
So tell me, why are you here?
We're soldiers of Etzer. We go where we are told.
Surely you are told some semblance of the reason you're going a particular place. Do you both have families?
One of them shakes his head no, one of them nods yes.
Did you not tell your loved ones where you would be? Is that not something that happens from where you're from?
when the Lord's call to when the Lord's call to action, no questions are asked. You simply go.
See, this is what I've been saying. Ysir renders its people of all free will and thought. They may as well be machines wound up. It's terrible to strip a country of its freedom and sovereignty. What do they do to their own people is monstrous in comparison.
I know something of monsters. But I also know something of friends and beauty. So, let me ask you this. What has happened to the populace of this town?
What do you mean?
Cheshire's going to take each of them by the hand and walk them to the house where Captain Ash was. He's going to stand holding their hands, rubbing his thumb on the top of their palm. What do you see? As he's showing them the actions and the mechanical movements of the family in front.
Those who couldn't be controlled were controlled.
How?
And the Lord wears a ornament of sorts. Seems to channel his power. It's something he has done with it. I'm not certain.
Well, that is more information than we had before. I appreciate it. Cheshire's going to walk both of them back out of the house, still not letting go of their hands, and walk them over to Etzer after he's done speaking with the Vakhtri. Etzer, I believe I have some individuals that could be useful. They have information we might need.
So Etzer's kind of trying to get into the character of Kasshim Kassam, and so he turns, and even though he obviously doesn't look anything like him yet, he's starting to take on bits of his stature, the way he holds himself, the way he speaks, and just says, "You two, tell Magnificent One, who captains those ships in the harbor? Who leads my fleet?"
They seem This is a very odd situation for them to find themselves in. Sort of wanting to do what Cheshire's asking them to do for various reasons, but a bit. They're still loyal to Ysir. That hasn't changed. But maybe their loyalty to Kassam has changed. With Etzer now here, clearly a revolutionary, has announced himself as such, pretending to be Kassam. It's pretending to be one of the sorcerer's lords is like one of the one of those things that's punishable. You know, everyone in Ysir has its place, and you don't aim above your place. The country needs to function, and it can't function if, you know, the leaders aren't leading, and it can't function if the servants aren't serving, and so forth. Lord Kassam has brought 2 other lords with him, the Koram brothers. They and he captain the ships, marshal the troops.
Can the brothers summon creatures like Kassam can?
They hesitate. You can tell that talking about the relationship between 2 lords, like they would see the lords roughly equal stature, but they are still cognizant of the idea that one lord does not like to be said to be weak or less significant than another, and yet clearly Kassam is the leader here. So they sort of fumble over the concept of describing this, and then you manage to get from them that the Koram brothers are somewhat weaker in the arts and they support Kasshim.
Etzer sort of nods at this and puts a hand sort of on one of their arms and grabs it sort of in a friendly gesture and kind of brings him in close. He's like, I understand that you feel uncomfortable disclosing this information to me, but I have a serious and legitimate question for you. What happens to you when we return to those ships? Assuming that you completely occlude this conversation from them and they never find out about it, how badly do you think you will be punished for sitting there while a pack of anathema beat your master into the ground and did nothing to help him?
I'm going to ask for a manipulation plus presence, please.
That's where I'm a Viking.
Pack of anathema. I think we're more of a fledgling. Oh, I guess we're technically a circle of anathema. Go, fucking get it right.
Goodness gracious. They seem to think over the implications of failure and what it might mean. And it's like looking at not stormtroopers, because the stormtroopers wear masks and you can't really see or tell what they're doing, for obvious reasons. But the officers are always very emphatic in their facial expressions. When something goes wrong, they immediately start looking at each other to find out who they can point the finger at, because they don't want to be chokeholded to death. And that's the look these 2 people have. The sudden realization that like one of them is likely going to die, possibly both. What can we do to help?
I don't mean to say this to you to blackmail you or frighten you unnecessarily. I'm saying this as someone who can empathize with your situation. I too have been robbed of my place because of the arbitrary policies and administrative dictions of the people of Etzer. With us, you would find sanctuary. Do not think of this as collaboration. Think of this as your first step to our new brotherhood.
That look is still present in that they are not entirely certain that the 3 of you, even given your apparent power as displayed, is necessarily going to stand up against the vast force that they consider exists out on these ships, but, well, in for a ducat, in for a talon. What can we do to help?
All right. I need to know as much information about those ships. How many troops they have, of what caliber, what armaments they have. Are there any weapons aboard the vessel that could be used to damage other ships? Do they have any arbalest or ballistas or anything like that mounted on there? Can the sorcerers do anything to damage other ships?
As far as these 2 guards are each ship has a complement of about 200 men each. Most of them are sailors, but all of them are combatants. They specialize in ranged combat. They're not actually ground troops. They're not necessarily trained for sort of spear or sword, even though they all carry them. They're more shipboard combat, so they have arrows, flaming arrows, usually. As far as sort of artillery and stuff like that goes, it's not considered terribly necessary because each ship has a sorcerer leading it. And while Kasshim Kassam is a significant sorcerer in that he has a lot of power to use, and no one really knows how wide that power goes, the Koran brothers are known to favor the very sort of flashy fire and draconic type spells. They're very good at destroying things from a distance.
Good to know.
Thank you. It's a good place to start for now. I need to rest and prepare. How long do you think it'll be before Kasshim can get back onto the ship? Do you know if his elementals have a way to cross the water?
We've never seen them do that before. We don't know, I'm sorry.
Quite all right.
If you were to walk from here to the pier where you have easiest access to the ships, the longboats sort of tied onto the pier, it would be about a 20-minute walk. From there, the longboats might take 10, 15 minutes to row out to the ships where they are sort of positioned out in the bay, thus to create the blockade. Ash. After you've finished sort of redressing these people and feeding them as best you can, their demeanor doesn't seem to change at all. Whatever it is that has taken them still takes them, but they are less worse for wear now than they were previously. Your anima has sort of died to a dim, your cast mark still glowing, but no longer this sort of Russian torrent of golden essence.
Right. Is the mist still present downstairs?
Long gone.
Long gone. Okay, I will venture out and try to find the others. I'm also keeping my nostrils open for the telltale smell of curried fish that Kasshim Kassam is. And I might even see if I can, like, has it reappeared or is it just firmly gone to the ground? It's not. I'm not catching it on the scent from the wind at all or anything.
You can catch it on the wind. He's obviously come back above ground. His injury was severe, though. You're not necessarily sure. Like, I mean, you don't really. Do you have medicine?
I don't have medicine, but I mean, it's a solid blow. I wouldn't expect a person to walk away from that with my sort of. But I don't know how long it's going to take to recover or something. But that's a guess what I'm thinking. Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised he survived it. If he did, we don't know. I mean, who can tell with head injuries, right? Doctors. I'm no sawbone. Which direction is it coming from? Would I hazard a guess?
From the direction of the bay.
Okay. I'm going to attempt to. I'll call out to the others. We may still be able to cut off Kasshim Kassam's escape. His scent is on the sea air to the bay.
Ooh. Careful. But I am not opposed to trying to track him down.
He won't be alone next time. We caught him by surprise because he didn't really understand who we were. But next time he'll be prepared.
He's probably not recovered from his injuries, so he's still vulnerable. But the more time we leave it, the more he'll be able to regroup.
Yes, but if he's near the bay, if he's in a position that he can be seen from the ships, if they're aware of him there and they see us, they still may be able to attack us, even from that distance. I think we should get close, but once we're within a few, stages, put some houses or buildings, shacks between us and the ships. But once we get closer, then maybe we should proceed a little more stealthily.
Okay. As always, your advice seems wise. I feel like we'll have to do it now or we'll miss our window. Are you up for proceeding or are you injured? It looks from both of you.
Cheshire pulls his clothes aside, sees the holes in his abdomen closing. But they're still there. I took a hit, but it should be alright. Wince.
To the docks with no delay then, and I start pressing onwards.
Are you just marching down, or are you going to take the wagon? Or
We're going to leave that stuff anyway. Hey, what about your people?
Yeah, I will tell my people. I'm going to ask the Victory and motion for it to follow us. I'm going to say, my adversary may be nearby. I need you to stay with me and make sure that Magnificent One comes to no harm.
of course, Magnificent One.
Etzer's going to turn back to Dildiswan and Batbayar and tell them, I think the two Victory were the only thing preventing the refugees from entering the city. You should probably go out and contact them and let them know now might be a good time to try and take it.
This is number 47.
I was just going to say.
Which means there's 45 other elementals out there that are probably guarding the city.
I don't think... I think this may be his 47th overall. I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to say this is a lifetime progressive number.
I'll gather the lives of the revolutionaries on that.
As a sorcerer, I will tell you that contracts like these usually can last a very long time. I once met a sorcerer who had his own group of elementals, not Victory, of course, but he did tell me that they were to serve him at no less than a year. And that he could summon more. But it's your men, your evolution, and you're the experienced one, so...
Etzer's like, in second thought, it's safer together as a group. Let's all just stay together.
So, the patella the few members of the patella in the cart, are they coming with, or are they staying?
We're all going to move together as a group.
Okay.
Just wheeling these things through the middle of town. No big deal.
Yeah, we're going to leave the cart behind. That's...
You can tell that because of the cart staying here?
Yeah.
If the cart's staying here, I'll take the chest with us if nobody else is
yeah, we
staying
shouldn't
behind.
leave the sword behind.
No. That's one thing I'm not letting out of my sight if I can help it.
Okay.
And Cheshire has the chalice.
You can tell that because of the commotion of the battle, the light show that Ash has put on, there's a trepidatious view of the rest of the city. It's still mostly empty. The underclasses certainly aren't here, but as you sort of travel around, you start to notice that there are all of the richer folk sort of not trapped here in their houses, but remaining indoors, sort of watching down at you through the windows as you pass. Sort of some of them brave enough to sort of come out into the stoop of their just outside the doorway, just to watch this procession sort of move down. Etzer is by now entirely disguised as Kasshim Kassam. Did you roll for that already, or?
Oh no, I need to let time pass for that because I do not have enough motes.
Oh, right, of course.
My plan was to
then scrap
hunker
that.
down for a while, but then our bloodhound got his scent, so...
They watch as this sort of procession moves down, holding this, interestingly, this chest along with them. A long half hour passes as you sort of march your way down towards the bay. And when you get there, the longboats are long gone. The ship's still stationed out there at the edge of the bays, just waiting, lingering. And the water of the bay doesn't really lap up against the shore. It's almost still, reflective and clear. Like this giant mirror showing you the sky above you. The scent of curried fish, as you mentioned, Ash, is out beyond. He seems to have been taken to the boats. You can't detect the scent of the Vakhtri around anywhere. Your danger sense isn't going off. But there's still that lingering in the air. The calm before a storm.
We can't see.
You have no doubt that...
Sorry, carry
Sorry?
on. I was going to say, we can't see the rowboat mid-motion on the water, can we?
No.
No.
But the ships start to turn. Their sails slowly rolling downward. And there's a light wind picks up and just sort of makes its way through the bay, just ever so slightly rippling that perfect mirror surface. They lurch forward and start making their way in towards the city.
I guess we've got a precious few minutes to make our preparations and decide what we're going to do.
Based on the description of his fellow sorcerers, they most likely won't engage in melee combat. They might try to shoot us down from afar, lay waste to the entire city looking for us.
It may be worth investigating the smell of the being that smelled like cinnamon that was present in the camp of our friendly bandits.
The smell of... Sorry.
I was going to say, yeah.
The smell of cinnamon and brown sugar is present here in the city as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's not so present that you could be certain that the person who, or the being that engendered it is here, but they have been here, and they have been here a lot. They've been here everywhere. It's ever present, just like in the Rebels camp.
I thought it was present in the main paying office. I thought the person was there. That was my mistake. It's just the smell of them. Wow, they must be a very smelly individual, or a very strong individual to leave such a something behind. In which case, I feel maybe we should regroup and decide what we're going to do.
Yeah. Etzer looks at Captain Ash and everyone assembled and says, "This is strategically impossible. We would have to have a preponderance of luck that we obviously do not have in order to win this fight. Not only will they now be on even terms with us in regards to those who can wield significant power, the remaining factory and the 2 other sorcerers. There's going to be there's 6 ships in the harbor, Elk?
Yes.
There will be 1,200 men touching down on this bay very soon. We cannot compete against that. We've had the first battle in this war, and we were successful. And we should be proud of our success, but we should not become cocky and overextend ourselves. I think we should roll back, take what knowledge we have, and regroup with the refugees and plan our next move."
Cheshire.
Cheshire's head.
There's always the blade.
Using it as a weapon, you say?
That is what it was made to do. If you felt you could risk it.
I could, but risking other individuals is a difficult choice.
So be it.
Etzer,
Yes?
Captain,
Yes, Cheshire?
it seems that our friend is suggesting we use the sword.
Does it know how?
I could try to figure it out.
I mean, unless its special power is screaming, we've already figured that out, and I don't think that will deter an army.
Well, you saw that I could turn 2 of them easily enough, and that was without any magically enchanted swords. Amber.
Cheshire. I so adore hearing you say my name.
We found mutual ground again. So my trust is restored. What do you suggest? Do you know how I can wield this blade without harming my allies? Meanwhile, you 2 are just hearing me talk into the wind.
I was not the architect of this creature. But I know those who were. You might find it for a blade awfully blunt.
All right. Etzer and Captain, I want you to back away and give me plenty of room. I know that the sound is excruciating.
Etzer will scamper back.
Ash will make a very far distance. He's respecting these swords of destruction, like, and he'll like quietly whisper to Adori soothing words and clean the blood off the pommel and sketch off the little bits of dust. Clean her up while he watches with intrigue from a very safe distance. Oh, as safe as he can be.
Cheshire goes to the chest and breathes in deep once before putting his hand on the buckle and opens it with a creak and is assaulted by the screaming of the sword. He reaches in, grabs the handle of the blade while gritting his teeth against the noise and tries to force his will into it.
It will take 5 motes to attune to it.
Done?
And when you are attuned, it sort of lifts up light in your hand, and yet, it's like in the back of your mind, these talons being sort of dragged down against a painted board of wood, screeching and squealing on top of the screaming of the blade itself. You can swear you can almost make out a word being screamed. Not just this formless yell, but a rounded sound that almost touches on perception and understanding. But as for what it may be, that still eludes you. It's difficult to wield. It's very distracting.
Okay. Cheshire's going to walk, blade in hand, toward the dock where the rowboat would have taken off, and is facing the 6 ships that are coming toward the town.
As Cheshire steps out onto the pier, over the water, you can see the water of the bay seems to ever so slightly surge inwards as he moves towards the pier. And as he steps out over the water, it seems to draw in towards him like he was moving the tides with him.
Cool. All right. Cheshire reaches the end of the pier. He takes a stance and is going to trust in the blade. He doesn't know what might happen, but he's going to try. Illusions swarm around the end of the pier with Cheshire at its center, basically creating a small platform for him to perform on. It's kind of like an enchanted circle. Cheshire raises the blade above his head, swipes it down to his right side, and continues to spin and perform a sword dance like he did with Beloved Adore before. And will end by bringing the sword hilt backwards by his face and slashing forward toward the ships.
There's a ferocity to the blade. His scream is slowly taking shape. And as Cheshire dances with it, the rawness of its emotion, is it? Billows out of the blade, sort of surging down their bond that he has taken with it. Almost losing himself in the dance as it sort of just screams and thrashes about with his hand, making his dance a bit more violent than he intended. Are we having sound issues, Plucky?
Yeah, it seems to be paused.
Oh, music.
Music, yeah.
Oh, it was playing for me. One moment.
Yeah, getting it now.
Making his dance a lot more violent than he intended. This pulling, jarring motion. Etzer and Ash watch on. You can see that this dance that Cheshire is making, it doesn't look accidental. It looks absolutely purposeful, but it's just more jagged, more vicious, a lot less lustrous than you have ever seen Cheshire move before. And as the dance and this scream starts to crescendo, and Cheshire is thrusting the blade out towards the ships. It's as if the blade itself yanks free of his grasp, flying out into the bay. You can see the water sort of surging up to meet it as it flies out, sort of creating this wave leaving the bay. And that scream finally starts to take a shape that you can recognize. As it sails out, and every drop of water in this bay is sort of stripped from the sand and the dirt and the dust beneath it, leaving nothing but chalky, dry sand, cascading upwards into this torrential water that just grows foot by foot by foot. Witness me. Witness me. And that's where we're going to end our session today.
I am so intrigued.
Wow. I mean, I'm not sure we should be using these weapons. I've got a really bad feeling about this, folks. Really bad feeling.
Once again, mistakes may have been made.
Yeah. I am concerned that me not killing Kashmir is going to come back to bite us.
Oh,
You're
sure.
not regretting a decision you've made, are you?
Am I? Well, I mean, me personally, I don't know if Ash will see it that, but I definitely think that if that does come back to bite us, I will be definitely rolling my limit trigger.
Speaking of limit, does Etzer have to roll again? I know when he rolled when we first came in here due to the blockade, but does he feel it as a separate insult to people's rights to magically compel people to sit in their rooms and knit and not move again ever and lose like all will?
Well, you didn't actually know the depths to which the depravity was.
Oh, that's right. Ignorance is bliss.
Oh yeah. By the way, Etzer, this is what's going on now. I'm joking.
You have, if you do discover it, it will be something new in a new scene, so you will roll. But you didn't actually directly witness it, I don't think. You just saw silhouettes undressing.
I love how. Oh, it's just Ash being Ash. Like, no, we don't really need to investigate.
They're taking their clothes off.
Jesus.
Whatever floats your boat.
Makes it sound so sordid. I was taking care of these people. I have sympathy for them.
Sordid?
Oh.
So what form do you think our destruction will take? My guess is either kaiju or Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Okay, so I picture. Jeez, I don't know. This is.
I just hope the blade comes back, but not with a torrent of water.
I mean, I don't know what's going to happen there.
Or some horrible thing attached to it.
I mean, I think at the very least it's probably going to shut down some of those ships and like even the odds a little bit. But I'm in a pretty bad state, folks. I mean, I've took 6 health levels of damage, lethal damage. So I mean, I'm not, a little bit worse for wear, and I've got like 5 motes of essence. So
we need a Twilight medic stat.
Yeah, like what?
Yeah.
But no, I'm really interested in that sword now. Super interested. When it was described as screaming before, I was like, okay, screaming can be equivalent to yelling, or screaming can be equivalent to singing, so I thought it would be something for me, but I'm not a sword person, so Cheshire wouldn't have grabbed it unless told to do so.
It didn't need to be Cheshire or anything like that. I
think it's the most thematic. It makes sense. Plus, I think Adori would get jealous if I started using other magical swords. So.
You're not gonna pull a Kirito and just whip out a second sword from nowhere?
I mean, I've got my cavalry saber, but I mean,
opens menu offhand.
Sure, I'll give you the black cloak. Just open the trade menu.
It's such an awesome evil exploit.
Wow. Yeah. I did not expect those elementals to be able to burrow down the ground. That threw me. I mean, it's obvious, right? Because they're earth elementals, but it was a good, nifty escape there. So
they came out of the ground.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
It's a charm they have called.
I just feel it was very well used of their charm sets to protect Kasshim Kassam. It was really, really, very cinematically appropriate. I felt it's a very good scene, and then us just going, oh, the bad guy.
I never took the time to read the Bakhtri entry because I was like, oh, Firebird. Seahorse. I'm interested in those things, but not the Earth guy. Yeah. No. And now I just got half wrecked by it. It's so good.
The Bakhtri are actually the social elementals.
Yep.
Yeah, they are.
They're meant to kind of be unkillable envoys that damage you if you try to strike them down.
Yeah. I wish some of you guys had told me that beforehand.
In the game I ran, I threw one at my party, and the Twilight's just like, I'm gonna high-five that thing, and now it's my new best friend. And then I'm like, All right. Well, this thing is now just an NPC. It's hanging around with you.
Yeah. I mean,
Died valiantly defending them a few games later.
yeah.
I'd like to ask the theories on its name.
47.
Witness me. Witness me.
Theories on
So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to fight a Morton Joe. So
theories in the name of the sword or the elemental?
The elemental I meant, but we can talk about the sword too.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally thought you were
that little
name
thing.
of the sword.
The sword's name is Herald of Thorns.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I worked it out like last episode with my lore and stuff. I was being useful.
once again, I'm gonna turn on
It's
the light.
slipped my mind. Oh, let's see. The name of number 47.
I mean, it could be like a grid reference thing, and it could be like he's in the deployed in the 47th like plot. It could be like you said before, Cheshire. What was it? It could be just like the current number of active elementals.
That's what I'm fully expecting, because I don't know the actual coverage range for a single Earth Elemental, and it could be entirely storyteller fiat. It can take care of this like 2 mile square. It's fine.
I mean,
I was thinking more of it like the Earth Dog spirits, where the Bactri would have just this unnatural, well, for them, natural control over just all of the land and territory. Just
yeah.
all mine.
I mean, I think, like, obviously, 47, its name, the magical sword, and it's like, what's going to happen? But really, the biggest question is Captain Ash ever going to deliver that cargo? I mean, come on. Poor Ash. Poor Captain Ash and his delivery.
So
Yeah, just left it out in the marketplace there, covered with jewels and gems.
So the only reason I don't think there are 47 elementals or Bactri here is the occupation can't have been going on terribly long, seeing how someone just set up for cargo to be brought in here. I don't think that trade deal would have gone through if people had known that this place is being besieged.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, I mean, like...
I mean, you can summon an elemental a day, so I mean, don't get me wrong, after a week, that's an unhappy number of elementals.
For 3 sorcerers, yeah.
Well, if all of them can summon, it's unclear if all of them can.
Well, we know that they know multiple. Well, at least Kasshim knows multiple spells.
Yeah.
Magnificent one. Come on, let's call him by his proper title. Let's not disrespect our, nemesis.
Sorry, Magnificent One took a sword to the face and passed out. It's not magnificent to me.
I like that most of my random NPCs come from, the voices I give them come from games that I've played.
Nice.
Where, for example, 47's voice came from the cultist from Dawn of War. Yes, Magnificent One.
I'm waiting for the, yes, my lord. The Warcraft.
Join the army, he said. See the world, he said.
Job done.
I'd rather be sailing. I don't want to do this. I'm not listening.
Gosh. The many voices of Elk. This is your, post session, treat. Gosh. I don't know. I feel I'm really happy with the purchase of the Adori charm. I feel
Yeah?
that even though it's a little hint, I was like, oh, I could totally use that. That'd be amazing. But then he escaped, so it's maybe later.
I love that Addery is the sword version of that program from The Matrix who's you do not truly know someone until you fight them.
Yeah. That is so true. And let's face it, folks, unless it's sniffing out people's moods, I'm gonna not be able to read intentions, so I'm just gonna have to cut them up. Oh, you're on our side! Why didn't you say so? Sorry about that, leg.
Oh, he was actually a good person.
We now know how Captain Ash socializes. Here, let's have a sword fight.
Yeah.
I'd like to get to know you better.
I mean, basically, it's
That's
like
how Adaway wants to be swung.
yeah. That was good. I enjoyed that a lot, folks, and I'm glad we survived it. I mean, I've got to watch my essence expenditure though, folks. Like, I've got to learn discipline. I'm at like 2 in my personal, 3 in my peripheral. It's like, yeah.
I learned I should probably play to my character straight. He's a mastermind, not a daring rogue. Should probably hold back and get a little more information and come up with plans in the future.
I mean, you did
Although
have a
this was
plan.
fairly fun.
You had a plan. You like rolled for it and everything, and you had bank successes. It was like,
Well, no, actually, what that charm lets me do is basically prevent any incriminating evidence about me getting out. So, like, they could just sail back this, like, across the entire Dreaming Sea, and like, Kasshim Kassam would be like, all right, what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to go back to Palaquin and everywhere and out Etzer as a anathema, and then I could retroactively spend these points to make him somehow screw up his message or misremember something and have it just blow off. It is a stupidly useful charm.
yeah, that sounds pretty
And
good.
therefore, once I start getting involved in rebellion, it'll make it harder for my family name to get really associated with it, and all of my folks back in Palaquin not executed.
I mean,
The big goal of his.
yeah. I mean, I imagine that he's probably going to be a little bit potentially foggy on the details. I did give him a pretty good hit to the old noggin. Like, I mean, it might, you know, he might not be so clear about like the last few minutes leading up to his. And plus, I imagine I'm going to probably be an easy person to pin the blame on. I am like a massive, like, flaring. Oh, the spirits are with me today, folks. I love how Ash is like. Doesn't really get the anathema thing. He's like, yeah, I've just been touched by spirits. It's a blessing. What are you on about, folks? Love how
How is
that's...
the town going to think
I
of its
have the
saviors? A name?
I have a name.
For?
Basalt Liquefaction. For the Voctory.
Ah.
But if we name it, we have to keep it. And then after it like wakes up from its sleep, it might be like... I mean, could we really put down Basalt?
Anytime someone says basalt now, all I can think of is Flashing Peak from the Imperial Mountain. But, you know, shout out to the people who have watched through the stream with us. Thanks very much for being an audience.
Definitely. Thank you very much. Check out the other videos if you're new to it. They're up on Twitch, they're up on YouTube at the moment. Good.
Like he's apparently been, what did you call it, vodcasting?
Yeah.
New to Twitch, so...
I mean, it was a good 24-hour, like, marathon vodcast of all our previous episodes. A big shout out to the Onyx Path Twitch channel for hosting. That was really greatly appreciated.
Definitely.
And Exalt Twitch for inspiring us, which is good.
Yeah.
Hooray.
If you like this, check out
I'm
them.
still slowly crawling my way through all those videos. I wish I had more time of the day to watch more because I'm enjoying it. But does anyone have any questions or concerns or anything to talk about before we sign off?
Yeah, just a couple of things. Are because we have 2 sort of campaigns that may be coming streaming. Is there going to be any streaming in the near future within Vict or?
I don't think we're ready for it yet.
No.
Mostly because I don't have a host. I can't upload to the stream because my internet is absolutely rubbish.
Yeah.
And I've just been given word that it's not going to be in place until late next year. So let's put a damper on that one. So if I can find a host, then yes. If not, then we'll still be uploading to YouTube.
Cool.
So I'm recording everything from my end.
Nice. Oh, I forgot to record this one again. Like, I mean, like, just check. Like, literally double check it, folks. Because I mean,
we reminded you.
I know.
We reminded you.
You didn't confirm it though. I got distracted.
You made a joke about not needing to be.
I got distracted, folks. Like, I am pretty tired today. Actually, I've had a pretty, for me, energetic week, and hopefully it hasn't come across too much in the stream, but I have been a little bit like... What's Zix, what are you doing, buddy? Oh, instruments. Oh,
We told you.
we told you, yeah, I know, bad.
It's an admonishment.
Yeah. I'm
Like
sorry.
tisk tisk.
I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry. I mean, that's what happens when you put... Yeah, I'd like to say next episode. Looking forward to it. I can see us, like, kind of like one of those escaping the city, besieged, like, fire raining down, like, you know, classic escape from, you know, LA, or, like, one of those, like, disaster films, like, Volcano or something. Or, you know, like, kind of... one of those, like, Second World War films where we, like, try and rally the local populace and we have, like, fighting in the streets and we, like...
Etzer's actually really good at that.
Yeah, so...
But I still think we should take off for now.
Yeah.
Because I have 3 motes of essence and 2 points of willpower, and you have taken 6 health levels of damage.
Yeah. Just but a scratch. But your whole arm's off. Yeah.
It's so funny how I'm the least injured one, but I'm probably the squishiest.
Yeah. I mean, and also Cheshire's been injured, so we probably should
Yeah.
get out. Like...
So, Elk, what did you think of my usage and interpretation of charm combinations for the combat? Because it was unorthodox, to say the least.
It is. To be honest, I'm used to my players coming up with strange things and strange questions. I'm used to running very close to the edge of the rules. I spend a lot of my time during my live games called Canary No, just because they like to push and push until such time as I finally say no. Like, I think at some point, Vero, it was actually, wanted to... gave a very long and elaborate explanation about how Shy could be considered a boat. Thus, she could use her sail charms to sort of ride it out of this explosion. And I'm just like, no. Let's come up with a different solution to this problem.
That's great.
Sorry, what was she trying to say?
Lookshy is a city.
Yeah, oh, wow, yeah, okay.
Just whole cities being taken away by a lava flow. Yeah, it's a boat.
Yeah.
I had one player who he likes to ride me the hardest. He's very emphatic with his creativity. And he was trying to... He had a weakness to water at some point. But he then tried to make it not his weakness by a long, detailed explanation about how water was ash, actually, because of chemical reactions and things. And I might actually try and get him to re-explain that to me, because it was really, really interesting. But, you know, no, water is your weakness. You don't get to just nope that with a very interesting and detailed physics discussion.
So if
Water, H2O.
So yes, no. I'm liking where it's going. I mean, we stumbled a little bit with the combat. We slowed down a little because sort of referencing the rules a bit more and rolling a bit more. But that's sort of just the nature of these things.
And I think for a first combat, like early on, just so if people aren't familiar with it, or you know, new set, new edition. Sorry, my words are failing me. I don't think that was too bad, but like, yeah.
I'm trying to get in the habit of, because it's a stream, trying to move on and have less gaps, so sort of cover the next person's action while someone's rolling, which is something I learned from John, actually, from the RPG Clinic, which is another stream that he does. So yes, working that.
Yeah, I think that was very good. And like,
any other questions or concerns?
Was that how you envisioned the session going? Out of curiosity, what did you? I
never go into a session with a plan.
No.
I go into the session with a setting. So, insofar as fun was had and combat happened and you got to meet the archery and all that, then yes, as planned, I guess. But you know, I try not to script anything too hard because players can be so unpredictable, and the story can be unpredictable, and I like to sort of just see where it goes. And it's gone somewhere interesting.
I'm glad that more people in the circle have joined a team, use swords as weapons of mass destruction against the Etzer. There's no longer the sole member in that group.
I mean, Ash is like, pretty sure this is the exact opposite of what we should be doing. Like, won't somebody think of creation? Who is thinking about creation? But, no. On that note, I think I've...
Meanwhile, Conky's up there on his throne going, maybe I made a mistake.
Yeah.
Why is the dancer wielding a sword? What is this?
Okay, I'm short on time, so I'm going to have to sign off, everyone. Unless anyone has any specific questions to ask before we go.
No, thanks for an excellent session, as usual. I enjoyed it, and I hope you folks at home did. This is Plucky Hero signing off.
Indeed. Have a wonderful time, and XP for days. Yay.
Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thank you very much.